Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay, so while we begin and wait for everybody to come through, I have one question. One question that's been burning me about this whole passport bro thing for quite some time. Quite some time. And that is, where are the white women? And this goes into the category of jealousy. Jealousy because of a situation that other ethnic groups, and by other ethnic groups, I mean damn near all of them, are in that we are not in. Where are the white women at? Now, I know a lot of guys who say that are generally talking about where the white women at for love, marriage, baby carriage, or just a hookup, or just a good time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're looking for the white women, right? For their own gratification, and there's nothing wrong with that, however they wish to be gratified. That's not what I'm talking about here. When I say, where are the white women at? When I say, where are the white women at, I'm talking about the white woman complainers. Where are the white women who have complaints about situations like this? This right here. Fair question, right? I mean, when you think about it, Austin was passport broing for maybe like 5 months, maybe. And he gets all the complaints in the world. He gets all the hate in the world. He gets all the pushback in the world from Black women. But you come across this video of a white guy with way more subscribers whose one video, the one that I'm about to share with you, whose one video has 6.5 million views. That means that this one video has more views than all of Austin's videos combined. Hit the like button. Where are the white women complaining? This video is entitled, I Was Forced into Polygamy in Rural Tanzania. This is a white guy, passport broing it up in Africa, in this hut here with two African queens. Where are the white women at? Where are the white women complaining about this? Where are the white women saying stuff like, I don't understand? It's so many beautiful white women in Connecticut. I don't understand. It's so many beautiful white women in Nebraska. I don't understand. It's so many beautiful white women in Texas. I don't understand. Where are they filing their complaints? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Fair use. Fair use. So, this is a guy who travels a lot of places, obviously. His latest excursion is here in Tanzania. He finds himself in this rural area where I don't know what this is. Is this like a room or something? It's made out of wood. Seems to be dirt floors. The white women aren't coming out saying dirty foot or anything like that, you know. And yeah, and the kids wear Adidas. All right, so he's in there, and He is sitting with this African woman, and he is also sitting. Hold on. So he has this one that he's sitting with, and he has this other one that he's sitting with. Now take a look at this guy. How much swag would you say this guy has? If you were to, swag police him, if you were to put a swag meter on him, how much swag would you say he has? I don't know. But one thing I do know, there isn't a bunch of white women questioning his swag, saying you don't have enough swag for the women of Denver. You don't have enough swag for the women of New Hampshire. You don't have enough swag for the women of Seattle. They're not saying stuff like that. I know because I read the comments. And I was hoping that guys like this got the same amount of pushback that Austin did. This had hit the like button. This has 6.5 million views. Million views a year ago. No complaints from the white women that he is leaving to get two, apparently, African sisters. So he's sitting there. She says, tomorrow, come to home. I guess she's inviting him to the house. He's not going to get kicked out of this country, apparently. They're laughing it up. I guess that's the father or something. Says, do you drink this every day? Talking about like a local ale that he is consuming. And he is allowed to just freely enjoy conversation, drink in the comfort of this building. They're happy. He's happy. Everybody's happy for a year. No pushback. Where are the white women complaining? The white women have nothing to say. He takes her for a walk in a dirt road. Nobody is calling her dirty foot, and I most certainly am not, because she has sandals on. And even if she was barefoot, I really wouldn't care. And the two women, the two quote unquote wives, because they were saying that jokingly, of course, asked for a picture before he left. And that is the end of that. And it seems like he does this all over the mother continent. That is just what he does. That is how he gets down. Where are all the white women complaining? Where is all the pushback? Let's see what is being said. I'm Ethiopian America, and I must say you know how to navigate your way around. You seem to have a lot of patience and a ton of unconditional positive regard and cultural humility. Enjoy your travels. Oh, enjoy your travels. Okay. The three golden rules to blending with locals: learn the language, drink the beer, love their women. Okay. Okay. This seems like encouragement. The pub owner is an absolute boss. Walking past, and she summoned you inside. Oh, she summoned him inside. Okay. Seems like a strong woman. Hmm. They're congratulating the women. All right. You were not forced, you were blessed. I see. Okay. I've been to Africa a number of times. Was in Somalia for Restore Hope in the 1990s, and Nairobi, Kenya in the early 80s, as well as, I don't know, Djibouti. Not familiar with that country, if that's a country. What's the news doesn't really show is just how beautiful Africa is. Okay, no pushback. This guy speaks the language of every country he goes to, whether it's Brazil, Tanzania, or Japan. Okay. Imagine a random dude walking around your town frantically asking every passerby for banana liquor. Okay. Still no pushback. Ah, here's a white woman. Here's a white woman. Maybe she's upset. Maybe she's upset that that one of her white kings is leaving. Only for my wife, she says in quotations. That was great. What a fun thing to walk into a village and have such a great interactions. Your language skills are incredible. Wow. He's actually being cheered on by white women. Wow. Hmm. This man is strong. I'd be having one awkward call home to my mom saying that she now has two new daughter-in-laws with some grandkids to boot. Yep. All right, let's see what the white women are saying. Let's see. Is that a woman? Not a man. Let's see. Oh, wow. There aren't any white women. Maybe this one. Nope. Doesn't look like any white women are complaining. It's almost like they get a pass because their sister, mother, daughter, cousins, nieces, etc., 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 are not as obnoxious as ours. Okay, let's take a look at this one. White woman, new subscriber. Looks like no one can say no to mama, and the women are very beautiful. Oh, wow. This is what women who are not insecure says. They compliment other groups of women. They don't say, "Why you going to that country when there's so many beautiful women here? There's so many beautiful white women in Europe." They don't say stuff like that. They white women are saying the women are very beautiful. When was the last time, and I'm not talking about Chantel or Danica or Melody or anybody like that. When was the last time you heard a black woman say, you know something, those Brazilian women are really beautiful? Open and friendly. Worst fates could a man experience than to be married to those two women. Great video. Wow. They don't get any pushback. Any pushback from the white women. You got to be jealous. Hit that like button. You got to be jealous. That look she gave him at 20 minutes and 25 seconds is a universal language. All right, let's take a look. 20 minutes and 25 seconds. I don't know. What I guess the look she gave him right there. She's smiling. She's happy. So where's the pushback, fellas? Where's the pushback on this white guy? He's able to just enjoy life without getting pushback from home. Enjoy the company of the locals without being criticized, without having blogs where people talk crap. You know, he's just able to enjoy himself. All right, so apparently is a world traveler, and he, like Austin, travels to Brazil, and still no pushback. I'm actually trying to. All right, here we go. Here we go. So, actually, let me just give some salutes. Got a super chat here. Greatly appreciate it. Um, why do y'all have these names? You are from somewhere spectacular. You're paying in ZAR. um, you're paying a czar, and your name is something Lenora. Let's just say that Lenora, but I'll call you Lenny. It says shout out to GC. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Greatly appreciate you. All right. So Edward, salute. She hate me, salute. Devon Griffin, salute. Killer Swag, appreciate you. All right. Deacon Dave, thanks for being a channel member and thank you for being in here. And Primetime VA, salute, salute. Saint, let's see, Saint Nick or Saint, what is that? 9 IV, like Roman numeral 9. 69, salute to you. All right. Did I already say Dane C? If not, Dane C, salute again. All right. Greatly appreciate you. Okay. So one more. I got to do this again. One more. So this guy is in Brazil with a very lovely looking Brazilian. I think you call them chicas. I think that's the name for a beautiful woman. But yeah, with a very lovely Brazilian chica who's drinking on something or eating something with strawberries, and I don't know if that's chocolate or cola or something, but it's ice in it and it looks delicious. I want some. I want to taste of it. I want to dip my tongue in it, and then I want to like rub my teeth on my tongue so a little bit to get on me. And then if it tastes good, then I'll just drink it. That's what I want to do. I want to do that right now. And oh, two of them. See, this is my first time watching this. Oh, two of them. He's sitting there with two of them. God forbid he be in a different country with attractive women, drinking a banana drink, talking about how one likes strawberries and the other one likes bananas. And he's walking with them. Nobody is calling her dirty foot. Their stop sign said something else, but it didn't say stop. But it's a stop sign because of the shape. Because of the shape of it. So it's a stop sign. So yeah, looks like he's just enjoying himself. He's in the villa and he's feeling himself. Talking about, and there's a woman with her son. And this experience when he travels. Now, this video is probably very old and there's no pushback. There's no whole community of simps and women trying to hate on him. He has never experienced that, and he is well more. He has 429,000 subscribers. This video had 2.9 million views 9 months ago. Nearly 4,000 comments, and probably no pushback. He's able to enjoy life. This is how a lot of foreigners come up missing, lured by sirens. Be safe, Mr. Tommy. Okay, so still not like the major pushback that he gets. Look at how Tommy disguised himself to look like a Brazilian by wearing a lacrosse cap. LOL. Okay, let's see. I think the gorgeous lady decided to let Tommy go after realizing that he was a nice guy. Okay. Let's see. I live in San Diego. I've been married to a beautiful woman from Rio de Janeiro for about 7 years. Okay, so where is the push? Oh, here's a white woman. Of course, a white woman is going to push back on a white man getting with a Brazilian woman because they're going to say, oh, why don't you just stand back and deal with the women from wherever it is you come from whatever whitey land you come from? How come you don't just, there's beautiful women in Utah. Of course, she's going to say that. Of course, Connie, who's an older white woman, she's going to say that. So let's take a listen. It's all about your attitude, whether you are in danger or not. When you are open and friendly, so are most people. Many Americans go to other countries with a superior attitude, so they don't have such a friendly time. Tommy, I wish more people would represent Americans the way you. Oh, wow. Wow. Where is the pushback? Please, 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 white man, show me some pushback. Don't, because then I have to live with the fact that your women are so much better than ours that they leave you to travel in peace and in dignity. Please, where is the pushback? I mean, you have 4,000 messages. Here's okay, let's see. Here's a white woman. Let's see. This is how you really get to know a country. Getting to meet people like this so much better than staying in a resort. Oh crap! She's cheering. Oh crap! Come on, white women. You gotta complain. You gotta complain. I mean, black women are doing it. Like you gotta complain. You got to. Well, maybe there's some white male simps. Maybe there's some white male simps that are doing this. Let's see. All right, Richard J. Slater says. Brazil is a beautiful country full of local people who are extremely friendly and love to have their true country represented in this way. Great work. Once you get the vibe, it's really like this video. Oh, crap. Crap. Even his bros are cheering him on. Damn, Tommy did it again. His side quests are the best. Oh, wow. Dang. Tom, your travel videos are dope, man. Keep it up. Be safe, brother. Looking forward to seeing more. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. This guy is actually very unaware of the history and almost everything about the country he goes to. That's because he's going to all the countries and he don't have time for a history level in each of them. All right, let's see. Let's see. Come on, simp. Come on, simp. Where are the white simps? Your Portuguese is pretty damn good. And so is your accent. I'm impressed. Dang, come on. Where's the simps? Here's a white guy. Jonathan Satham. Come on. This video was great. Oh God. Come on, simps. Where are the simps? WTF. This dude is insane. I would never try this. Hope he stays safe. Love your videos, bro. Dang, where are the simps? Where are the people that are saying that's because you can't get any in America? Where are the guys that are saying, here's a white woman. Come on now. I love how the guy at the shop says, show Brazil is good in your video. Come on. Oh, wait, here's a black woman, looks like. Hope he's okay. He looked worried at the end. Okay. Don't know what to do with that. Let's see. All right, somebody named unknown, but they're speaking in Portuguese. All right, says that boy was trying to express himself like a real Brazilian. Kind of find it absolutely amazing. Crap. Where is this simp in the pushback? Because Austin seems to get all the smoke. Where is the smoke? I feel like an arson investigator. Like, where is the smoke? Come on, smoke. I want some smoke. How come the white travelers aren't getting smoke? Yo, man, you're killing it. Keep it up. Where is the smoke? Come on. Wow. Walking with you while they were on their phones was crazy. Where is the smoke? Come on. Come on, smoke. Like, come on now. Like, Austin gets like 10,000 views and he gets like 5,000 of it is smoke. This guy has 2.9 million views. He should have a lot of smoke. He's dating or he's enjoying the company of women that are not the same race as him. Where is the smoke? Come on, these are attractive Brazilian women. Where's the smoke from anybody? I mean, black men get all the smoke for doing the exact same thing. Where is his smoke? She's showing him the neighborhood school. Where is the smoke? She's eating strawberry drinks. Where is the smoke? Where is the smoke for this awful human being? How dare he not show love to his own woman? I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He has 2 million views a year ago. And he's in a village. He's in a Ugandan village with this chick right here. Where is the smoke? He should be getting all the smoke, right? He should be getting all the smoke. Where are all the comments? Where is all the pushback? He's drinking their drink in a green cup. Isn't he corny? Isn't he lame? It's almost like we are the only community that criticizes people for not following a cookie cutter behavior pattern. It's almost like something like that. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, smoke. Here's a white woman. I love the vibes of the girls in the red shirt. Oh, crap. They're cheering him on. They're cheering him on. Let's see. Apparently, there's a point where they said kill him, and then dude with the camera say, here's $6. And he said, nah, he's good. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, let's see. Come on, smoke. Come on, smoke. Wow. It's almost like they are dealing with a completely different, and dare I say better, crop of women. This is sad. This is sad that we get all the smoke and they get none of. Oh, wait, here's a black woman. It was so tense in that town. Do respect boundaries and ask permission to film them. Thank God the lady was not afraid, but laughing and joking too, as much as the limit. Okay, so there's some smoke. There's some smoke from a black American woman, it looks like. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. You have a point. Let's see. I might argue she doesn't really know this village. She doesn't really know this village, and she come off as making things up for attention. I'm pretty sure she likes him for some reason, and her mannerism makes it way too obvious. Way too cute. I wish a good day. Let's see. Just like these people respect European culture, you mean? Okay, so yeah, I guess that's smoke, but it's not smoke. It's like the smoke when you're a kid and you light a match and then you wave it and a little bit of smoke come off the tip of the match. So yeah. So yeah, after millions of views, he got like a little bit of smoke from a black woman. Oh wait, here's a white woman. That girl has probably been through so much in her life that most can only imagine. So isn't phased like most others would. Okay, so yeah, so she actually has sympathy for the girl. Now we're going to talk about the sympathy that she has for the girl in a second. Notice how there is no sympathy for the passport bros when they travel. What do I mean by that? They call the women all kind of names. They're poor, they're starving, they need food, etc., etc., etc. But they're doing that to suggest that you don't give them food. Which is weird, right? It's almost like they don't give a crap about these girls. Like they need food. Like, okay, what is that supposed to mean? Like, we shouldn't help with their economy? No, I just want to shame you into not giving them the food that they need because I want them to starve to death. I I want them to starve and be beautiful corpses. That's what I want. There's no care for the locals. Now that everybody's here and everybody's hit that like button, actually, let me double check. Let me double check if y'all been hitting that like button. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Got the people here. Less than half of y'all hit the like button. Gonna wait for the feature presentation. It looks like it's gonna be a bit of a wait till we get that like button hit. It's too much smoke, not enough thumbs. Let's make it happen. It's way too few. All right. While I do that, I'm going to look at my voicemail box while y'all get the like button up. All right. It's still the same. It's still the same. Okay, it's went up a little bit. Let me get two more. Let me get two more. Salute to you, Freeman's Journal. All right. Get one more and we're good. All right. So, salute to you, Freeman's Journal. Let's see. I already said Deacon Dave, Primetime VA, Kevin Murray. Salute. All right. There we go. All right. So, now to the feature presentation, right? Okay. This is apparently a very popular YouTuber, though I'm not familiar with her. But this is, she has a lot of subscribers. She has a lot of followers. She has a lot of viewers. I seen her on Daily Wrap Up Crew, and I decided to investigate the video myself. And she's doing a call-in show, and I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm just going to focus on the first caller, but I am going to review it. And if there are any more interesting callers, I will, probably do like pre-record videos on them. So here we go.
And
all right. So at the 4-minute mark, that's when things start to get interesting. Let me know if y'all have trouble hearing it. About to play it right now.
Video again, and then I'll take the first caller.
The passport boys lead Black women in the U.S. and travel overseas to date.
Like you just did. And how soon would you kiss me, and how soon would you go back home with me?
I don't know. If I had time.
If you like him a lot and he likes you a lot, do you feel a need to wait a day or two? Or
No.
So you go the same day?
Yes.
That's all I need to know. Get your passport.
No way.
Okay. So Austin said that, and he gets all the pushback, all the smoke. The white guy says something, and he gets none of the pushback, none of the smoke. With 6.5 million views. Somebody said, oh, that's Yanni. She looks attractive in this video. What does she look like in the other? This is the only video I've seen of hers. Maybe I see her all the time and I just don't recognize her because she looked different. Women have a way of changing their looks. All right. And now he's about to get more smoke, apparently. So let's examine the smoke.
No way. So you're going to give up on all the Black females and
You're gonna give up on all the black females in the United. Why aren't they saying that to the white dudes that travel? Why aren't the white women and the white simps saying that to the white men that travel? Just curious. She is not going to sleep with you, sir. That is what's not going to happen. Your penis is not going to enter her vagina by saying that. Just to let you know.
Alrighty. So Just Magic, you're up first. So what would you like to add to the conversation? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. So what's your
All right.
opinion on this?
So I'm not Brazilian. I have Brazilian friends. I'm from Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
And the passport bros, man, they've been a thing for so long. So the difference between the foreign European guys that come into the country is not very, very different as far as what their reasons are, but the behavior is quite different.
Do tell, please.
So when the African American men go, they go over there to show off, to kind of boast to other people about how they're getting all this sexual attention.
Because the European guy I showed was doing the exact same thing. He was boasting about 2 wives and crap. This is one of those things that make you go, But okay, let's continue.
Well, the Euro guys are kind of...
Okay, Primetime VA says, she sounds like an American black woman. Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Trust me.
Of like, come to my yacht. And, they're kind of more like trying to have a...
Look at her eyes, like wide open. The moment he said yacht, the moment she said yacht. The white guys be like, come to my yacht. And her eyes just lit up.
This sexual attention. Well, the Euro guys are kind of like, come to my yacht. And, they're kind of more like trying to have a party and, just enjoy the company of women. Not to say that they're not terrible too, but
right.
The way the African American guys...
Every guy I see there, like Fred, Austin, Pablo, they're just enjoying the company of the women too.
Comport themselves. It's more of like a stroke of ego because they don't get it back in their country. So quiet as this...
A stroke of ego because they don't get it back in their country. I think that is meant to shame the men. I want y'all to picture a school. In elementary school. A interracial elementary school, if you will. Now, many elementary schools have free lunches, have a free lunch program. And at this imaginary elementary school, I want you to imagine all the black kids reacting different to free food than the white kids. The black kids are reacting as if they are not being fed at home. They overconsume the food. They consume the food too quickly and too eagerly. While the white kids aren't as excited about it because they just got a free breakfast from their parents. I want you to imagine and picture that scenario. And then I want you to picture a cafeteria lady who's blaming the kids. I repeat, picture the one that is blaming the kids. And there you go. That's the problem. That's the problem. You see, black men are more starved for decent treatment than white men are. Hit the like button, people. Hit that like button. Black men are a lot more starved for decent treatment than white men because they are being treated worse than white men. So, yes, their reaction is going to be different.
Capt, we all know, from the girls that don't partake in that kind of industry to the girls that do, we all know that when an African American man comes down there, he's usually not sexually socialized correctly. So he thinks that
He's not sexually socialized correctly. I would agree with that. And that's because he's sexually socialized by black women. And they are deliberately not sexually socializing him correctly. Absolutely. I do agree with that. Now, it actually takes him a while of being away from a black woman before he is sexually socialized correctly. And since most black dudes go to the Dominican Republic, because it's so close to America for short stints, it is going to be a while before, you're not going to get the ones that are used to the company of decent women. I get that. And what does that say? That says that the local black American female is so screwed up that it's screwing you up. Freeman's Journal said it best. Socialized to be thirsty. Absolutely. Socialized to be thirsty. We are. And I'm going to get into why that is in the next clip. Trust me. But thus far, just heed that in mind. We are socialized to be thirsty. We're made to be thirsty. And this is to the benefit of the women. So when a guy who's thirsty. Oh, and fellas, let me talk about this. Let me talk about the thirst, for example, for a moment. One clear sign that you're thirsty is you saying that you're not thirsty. One clear sign that you are thirsty is that you are saying that you are not thirsty. The overwhelming majority of Black American men are undersexed. I'm going to say this again. The overwhelming majority of African American men, including those in relationships and marriages, are undersexed. Now, we like to brag and boast and beat chest more than anybody else, which is a sign that we are undersexed. The majority of African American men are undersexed, and this is something that is way before the passport bro situation problem came up. How do I know this? Well, I noticed from listening to the ones that brag, how they brag, and what they brag about. For example, back when people was talking, and they do periodically from time to time, talking about Pookie, Ray Ray, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One guy was bragging about how he did, I think it was like 4 or 5 years, and he was like, yeah, but when we get out of prison, you know we gonna get some pussy. And I was thinking, like, you're bragging about having sex one time in 5 years? Is this what you're talking about? Is this what you consider to be a good thing? There's another guy who bragged about pussy that he got in the late 1980s. He showed receipts, and the receipts was just a picture of a bunch of girls look like they just left a nightclub in the late 80s, early 90s, and he's bragging about it today. How undersexed is the population when that is your receipt? Explain me that. And he wasn't even in the picture. Like, extremely undersexed population. And these are the player pimp Mac types. Another dude, he was like 30 at the time he said this. He said that he don't really do long-term relationships, but he has had sex with nearly 100 women. And I was like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, I had sex with nearly 100 women. It might be 100 this year. I was like, okay, so you do realize that in 15 years, having sex like 100 times, seeing how it's 365 days in a year. So in the last 5,000 days, you had sex roughly 100 times. Now, yeah, it sounds good. 100 women is 100 women, but when you break it down, that's you're having sex once every 50 days. Like 6 times a year. Once again, these are the player pimp Max. This is not good. We are an extraordinarily undersexed population. When it comes to sex, Black men work the hardest and get the least quality and quantity. We get the fattest of every race. We get the worst of every race, and we work the hardest to get it. Now, this is by design, and I'm going to explain how that design works in the video after this one, but this is by design. So and of course, this is going to be initially unappealing to a group of women because you will come off as thirsty if you haven't learned to control yourself. And unfortunately, many Black men haven't. Okay, Ronald Calhoun said 100 women and 100 screws are totally different. I agree. However, the person admitted that he doesn't do long-term relationship. This is a pump and dump person. But granted, let's just say he gets 5 out of these women. That's still 500 out of 5,000 days. See, here's the thing. We are not 300, we're not getting 730. Let's just say twice a day is good, it's healthy. We're not getting 730, even the married ones. Marriage means that you get to fuck as often as your wife wants to. That's what an American marriage means. So we're not getting the minimum 730. That's what I'm talking about.
The way we act is because of him, when it's just culture that we act the way we do, which is
Now, I want you to notice that she's saying we, the way we act, etc., etc., etc. I want y'all to pay special close attention to that. Hit the like button.
tending to our man and whatnot. So then another thing that also happens is that we all communicate with each other. He's a lick. Get what you can, make him feel like he's special. Just turn up the heat as far as how, sweet and submissive you are. But just get your lick. That's all they care about. And see, the thing is, I don't even hate on it, because this is what I do here in America. When Black men tell me, "Oh yeah, I like your kind of women," da 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 da, I'm like, "Hell yeah, come to my country. Hell yeah, come to my country." Why?
So she's saying, come to my country. So is she there?
Because I'm thinking about the women that do need money and want to get that lick, and they're just
You're thinking about the women who do need money and want to get that lick. Are you thinking about them now? This is a very disingenuous call. You say that you think about the women who are trying to get a lick. But then again, you say, come to my country. So in one instance, you're there. And then in another instance, in the same call, you're going to tell them to go. So are you there or are you here? Are they coming or going? But are you thinking about them now by calling their customers licks now? By calling the men licks right now, are you thinking about them? Obviously not. You see, this isn't about them in any way, shape, or form. This is about shaming the men and instilling fear in the men to not go.
easiest lick to get. Whereas a Euro guy is gonna be like, he's gonna want for you to establish, like, look at him with some type of respect.
Well, both of them want that. You were just talking about how it's easy because all you have to do is show the black man some kind of respect. And now you're saying the Euro man, he's going to want you to show some type of respect.
Understand his you know, his lifestyle. He wants you to be impressed by him. Whereas the African American men are more like, yeah, you know, I don't get attention from my women over there, so that's why I come here. And you know, you women are
Yes, we are escaping worse women.
the best, and we all are in cahoots. We all
Right.
know what time it is. So that's all I have to say about them. They're not special over there. And they already have made their own reputation in Brazil, in DR, in Colombia, all that. They've already made a terrible reputation. We're obviously not going to say it to their face because we got to hit the licks.
Oh,
There's some truth in that. Very little, but there is some truth in that. We were born licks. Well, maybe not born, but we definitely were made to be licks. Now, that is a fact that's going to make itself apparent with other groups of people. If a person was made to be taken advantage of, make no mistake, black men, we were made to be taken advantage of by black women. It is very difficult to get a group of men who were made to be taken advantage of to behave as if they were not made to be taken advantage of. That being said, and this is going to be a very sad thing to say, it's better to be there than here, even with that. You see, what they are attempting to do here is create desire and scarcity. I repeat, create desire and scarcity at the same time. Meaning that they want you to desire them sexually while making sex scarce. Now, the reason why Austin asked those questions that he asked, do I have to wait for sex, is to basically highlight the fact that they are not playing that particular game. They are not playing that particular game. So any lick that begins with my penis in a beautiful woman's vagina is a better lick than whatever y'all are licking here. There it is. I thought you knew. I repeat, any lick that begins with my penis in a beautiful woman's vagina is a better lick than any lick y'all have here. Because we know where y'all licks end. We know that. I mean, y'all have several of them. Some of them begin with, your penis in a beautiful woman's vagina. Like the Brittany Renner lick begins with that, right? And it ends with paying thousands of dollars a month in child support for a child that you don't even get to raise. See, their lick ends with the loss of $20. Better yet, let's just say the stove girl was a lick, right? Let's say the stove girl was a lick. You meet a beautiful woman, you go out, have a good time, sex her over and 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 over again. And then a year later, you do the same thing. And at the end of all that, she gets a $200 stove. And she just goes and whispers to her friends, lick! I got a lick! It's like, okay. I guess the egg is on my face, right? That's a $200 stove. I guess the egg is on my... That would be a lick the way a job is a lick. I repeat, that would be a lick the way a job is a lick. When I worked at Burger King, it would be the equivalent to me saying, yeah, I'm about to get over on these chumps. I'm about to flip these burgers, serve these customers, wipe these tables down. Then 2 weeks later, I'm about to get some money from these fools. Yeah, I'm about to hit this lick. I'm about to hit this Burger King lick. I'm about to make these fools give me a paycheck. Is that what you consider a lick? Are you stupid? We were raised to be licks. There is no bigger lick than a guy who works his entire life. And then when he's at the peak of his earning in his 40s, get with a fat single mother. Lick. Lick. Any lick they have is better than the licks y'all have. Waiting for a guy who in his late 40s is so thirsty that he is marrying overweight women with wigs and kids is a lick. That is the long hustle. That's the long hustle. And you go online and brag about it. And say stuff like, I'm not fit, feminine, or friendly, and I was able to get a husband. That is a lick if I ever heard one. That is the long hustle. You see, here's the thing. Let's talk about the marriage lick, for example. There's many licks here in America, but let's talk about the marriage lick. Do you know that Black American women are trying to get Black American men to marry for pussy? And they do. Oh, there's evidence of this. Shout out to Crew Season. Crew Season has all the evidence that Black men are to marry for pussy. Now, it takes a special type of a thirst to marry a woman that you otherwise wouldn't marry just for a secure sexual thirst. Or excuse me, just for a secure sexual source. It takes decades of instilling thirst into the population. Hit the like button. It takes decades of instilling thirst into the population in order for men to marry just for a water faucet. But that's what they do. They instill the thirst in you over decades to the point where you're not counting her calories. You're not counting her kids. You're not looking at her hair or anything. You are just taking whatever it is you can get. That is the ultimate. That is the ultimate lick. And you were raised into that.
Girl, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Now you just came through. You didn't just drop T. You dropped a bomb, and it's just wait a minute. So it's this unwritten, you don't say it out loud. You just,
Of course.
you just have this code among each other that this is what we're doing.
Yeah, because we already know that men that talk badly about their own women are, it's almost like treasonous. It's almost like they're natural.
Men that talk bad about their women is treasonous. Now, I'm going to look up the word treason because there is a there. Okay, treason. The crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. They look at themselves as the government. They look at themselves as the governing body of black men. All right, so King Sigma in particular, shout out to him. He's saying that this person is not a Latina. She's not, and I suspect that. I strongly suspect that she is a divester, and that she chronics the divestment spaces, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's treason you talking to me like that. I am not a part of your nation or your government. Fuck you. You are not my sovereign and you are not my queen. She's your queen to be. That's not you. It is not treason. But that's how they look at it. Why? Because we were born and we had loyalty beaten into us every single day. Beaten into us every single day. Every single day a black boy wakes up. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Mama, mama, mama. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Mama, mama, mama. Each and every single day that was drilled into us. Ever notice why the worst thing you could call a black kid is white? Because he lacks loyalty. He is an outsider. Get the super chats. Anthony Baskerville says, it's snazzy individual. I can't message or send super chats from that account. It's blocked. Oh, okay. I'll look into that. I'll take care of that. Yeah, I got it. I got it, brother. All right. So yeah, I'll take care of that. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Queen, queen, queen. See, here's the thing. They need to have complete and total and utter control over your sexual market in order to implement this thirst plan that they have for you. And make no mistake, you are thirsty. I know brothers are afraid to admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. Damn it, I'm thirsty. Thirsty as fuck. Does it mean I don't drink? No. Doesn't mean I don't drink. It means that I want to drink more. I'm thirsty 30 minutes after I have a drink. 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the recovery time. I'm thirsty again. Hell, while I'm drinking, I say I want a double. And y'all know what double means. Threesome. I'm thirsty. As fuck. There. Don't it feel good to get that off your chest? It feels good to get it off my chest. Say it to yourself loud right now, fellas. I'm thirsty. Feels good to get it off your chest, don't it? Want to know why it feels good? Because they can't shame you with that anymore. You're thirsty. You damn right. Either quench my thirst or shut the fuck up. There, I said it. No matter how much I get, I want more. I am in a perpetual state of thirst. Genghis Khan was thirsty. And he had like thousands of wives. I'm thirsty. And I am going to obey my thirst. And there's nothing you could do about it. See, brothers were afraid to do the stuff that they wanted to do because even if it meant quenching their thirst, because they were afraid of seeming thirsty in front of the sisters. You were born to be a lick. That is a whole process. So if you see like a beautiful white woman, you know, one of those Jessica Alba type, or Topanga from Boy Meets World. Oh my God, that was a fantasy of mine. If you see one of those and you walk over in that direction and a black woman say, "Oh, you must be thirsty if you're walking over there." Listen, are you going to quench my thirst? No, I'm just gonna like try to leverage. Shut the fuck up. You damn right I'm thirsty. Because what they want you to do is they say, "Oh, no, I'm not thirsty. I'm going to sit here and wait for you because, you know, I gets mine. So I'm going to sit and wait for you to give it to me." Nope. I'm thirsty. I'm gone. Are you going to quench my thirst or shut the fuck up? I'm gone. Quench my thirst or shut the fuck up. I'm gone. Your tactics aren't going to work here. I'm a Targaryen. Mind tricks don't work on me, just money.
foreign backstabber.
Ooh.
So it's like, what's the point of, with dealing with them besides catching the lick? So it's just like, we don't, yes, we're in cahoots, we know, because we know that they're not loyal enough. So we'll play up our part.
That part is bullshit. The average foreign chicks are not thinking about, we know that they are not loyal enough. That part there is complete and total bullshit. They're happy to be better than the chicks that you are leaving, just like any chick. Just like any chick, you get with a Black American woman, she's not thinking about how you treat your ex or how your ex treated you. If she likes you, she's happy to be with you, and she feels fortunate that the last chick didn't treat you in a way to make you unavailable. That is complete and total garbage. Now, I will say this, slightly to her credit, but this isn't what she's saying at all. But it did spark for me to say this, because fellas need to stop doing this in every aspect of your dealings with women. Don't bring your discontent with a woman or a group of women into your next relationship. It doesn't serve you any positive purpose. So let's just say you're in another country, right? Let's just say you're in El Salvador. Leave your baggage with American women in America. Focus on your present and future with her or them. There's no need to bring up American women. Because then, and it's not that they're going to say, oh, you're disloyal or treason, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're not thinking like that. But really, and this goes to like interpersonal relationships with local women. What it sounds like you're still stuck on them. It sounds like you still have a connection, like they're still on your mind when they want to be the woman on your mind. And this goes for if you are dating locally and you keep talking about your ex. She's not mad at you because you seem to be loyal to her, but it does seem as if you're still connected to her, like you still have a thing for your ex. So yeah, that does come for a completely different reason than what she's talking about. That whole loyalty, treason, nobody's thinking that. But just don't do that, whether foreign or domestic. Just leave the past behind. I mean, learn the lessons of the past, but don't share your discontent with that. That's some advice. And I rarely give like dating, mating, relating advice, but I mean, that's something that your life would be better if you did that. Just throwing that out there. And dang, it was something else I want to say on that. Hold on, let me see. Completely agree. Oh, that's what I want to say on that. And this is made apparent by a woman who used to be a YouTuber. Now she's doing her thing privately, named Treason. And I've done some videos on her. Treason was a swirler, and she was a swirler to boot. She was married to a white man, a white man. And it was really like, because the white dude that she was married to, he was rarely, if ever, on the show. But I had to think about, like, what is it like for this guy? Like, she obviously has a thing for Black men. She obviously has Black men on her mind a lot, because he wasn't tripping. He's just like, okay, I just want to make this marriage work. I just want to move forward in our relationship. He's not there because of his issues with white women. He's there because he found a woman who he believed to be good with her, but she created her whole life around black men. Keep it a buck. Like it was obvious that she had like this issue with black men. Like she okay. It was apparent that her love for him wasn't love for him. It was hate for black men. She didn't love white men. She just hated black men. Like that's how it was expressed. And he married her foolishly, if I say so, but he married her because he ignored that. And we all know that that marriage didn't end well. So don't be Crystal Kerrison. And I think that she eventually wound up with a black man anyway. So yeah, don't be that. Leave that garbage behind you. Like, and I get it. It's hard because as the title says, you are born into it. You're born for that. You're born to be licked. Oh, and by the way, speaking of lick, Crystal Kerrison had liposuction, which is something like lick. When I say, I think of lick when I say Crystal Kerrison had liposuction, because Crystal Kerrison had liposuction. Yeah, Crystal Kerrison, she did have liposuction. All right, let's play some more. I wonder if she had liposuction, because I know Crystal Kerrison had liposuction.
Because we know what we're gonna get out of it, which is a visa or some money or
smart girls.
Blah blah blah.
Smart girls, I see.
Yeah, so they're not gonna say nothing. No, none of these
know
women.
the game already.
All right, I don't live on the East Coast, but I do know that that's where the majority of the Dominican woman American man interaction goes. But from what I understand of it, they're not really like wifing and green carding these chicks like that. For two reasons. And this is how I know she's probably not even Latin, but this is how I know one of the many ways I know that she's making up. But first of all, she refers to Dominican Republic as there and here in the same sentence. But nevertheless, and then she refers to the people as them, they, and also us. So she's kind of all over the place with that if you look at it carefully. But in addition to that, most Dominican women I met don't really want to leave. They're not looking for a visa lick like that. Do there exist women who are looking for a lick or who sees it as a lick? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's crumbs in comparison to what American women are looking to lick you for. It is crumbs in comparison. Like we see the stories here about how the chicks get flued in and not have sex with the guy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she want like the everything on the left side of the menu. That is nothing. That and that's like a minimum. That is like a small lick. These chicks want to walk into Chanel and walk out with half the store and you don't get to touch her. That is the American lick. These chicks, like sleeping with a woman 20 times and then, but you had to pay for dinner each night, that is their lick. That is their lick. And here's what it comes down to. Here's one of the main things that it comes down to. And this goes for like most of the places where brothers travel. You're not dealing with women who are not only creating a thirsty population of men, but who are used to dealing with thirsty men. American women are used to licking thirsty men. These women are not used to licking thirsty men. Why? Because of two major reasons. One, prostitution is generally legal. And two, men are comfortable purchasing prostitutes. Now, why are those two things important? Because this whole I can use sex to leverage a man thing goes completely out the window when a man could just walk up and pay a chick $40. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I was like 40 days into a 30-day, a trick bag that I was going to put him in, or excuse me, a 90-day trick bag. My 90-day rule, and then he just went and spent $40 and fucked a woman that's hotter than me. He was supposed to be 3 months thirsty. By the way, the 90-day rule only works if the entire population is in on it. Because what if the next woman has an 89-day rule, then you go to her, and then the next woman has like a 79-day rule, and so on and so forth. So you have to get all the sisterhood involved in it. And it only works if the men are just say, oh, fuck it, I'll just go buy some ass. It only works under those conditions, which is a condition that they created in the Black community. But nevertheless, it don't work there because it's legal. It's legal to just go out and buy some ass. And it's like, now that I have this post-nut clarity, you look kind of fucked. All right. So somebody said something in the chat room. I'm going to. Deacon Dave sent a super sticker. Appreciate you, brother. And somebody said $40 is too low. The lower the cost, the higher the risk at GameChanger. Risk of what? Like STDs or something? Explain to me what it's a risk of. And it was my understanding, because I was in Sosua. I did a video in Sosua where I interviewed two Dominican prostitutes. And I actually wasn't there to interview them. I was there to show the scene, so to speak. But I was told that it was tacky to do that, even though a lot of brothers do it anyway. But I was told that it was tacky to do that. And these girls, they were looking for a customer in the form of me. So they came and sat with me, and I bought them some ice cream and told them to go. And this video is in my show. It's in my channel. It's called Horror Culture. I gave them some ice cream, or I gave them some money to go get some ice cream to go away, but they went and bought some French fries and came back. And they was really on it. And I was talking to them, and I don't speak Spanish. I was asking them, how much is it for their pussy, their shared pussy? And they said $40. And I don't know if that's the individual price or if that is the price for the package price. But to the person that said that, Shane Vicious, it might be like $20 or so a piece. Oh, see, all right, you don't know stuff, Shane Vicious. You're my dude, but you don't know stuff. Because no, that's not junkie. Well, here in the States, that's a junkie price. But I mean, let's face it, if you're a prostitute in the States, chances are you're a junkie. Because there's so many jobs and opportunities for women, that especially ones who are worth sleeping with. Yeah, I'm talking about overseas. Okay, so that's where the confusion lies. I'm talking about overseas. But no, I don't know. I never did like a I guess a East 14th interview of prostitutes here. So I don't really know how much is the going rate for a non-junkie prostitute here in the US. I don't. But mainly it really doesn't matter the cost here, because it's illegal. It's illegal, so guys aren't really gonna like go at it like that. And there's a social stigma with it. So yeah, it's just not gonna happen like that. Somebody say E14 prostitutes. Yeah. I have folks that live off of East 14th, and I do see them from time to time. And yeah, it's non too hot. Nevertheless, I don't know how much they cost. But my point is that when you live in an environment of affordable prostitutes, women can't leverage sex on you like that, because they know that if times get too rough, you will go that route. If times get too rough, you will go that route. So they're not trying to leverage it out for you like that. They like, because, okay, put it like this. Dating there, the women know that not having sex is an option. So if you take a woman out to dinner or something like that, and and like every woman here, they have the choice whether to have sex with you or not. The thinking is abroad is that okay, if I go home without having sex with him, he can have sex with somebody else. There isn't a question. He definitely can have sex with somebody else. Therefore, and then, what if he enjoys having sex with her more than he enjoys the possibility of sex with me? So yeah, I'm gonna do the damn thing, because they want to secure the man. Anyway, what this chick is talking about is crap. She might not even be Latin.
Yeah, but even here in America, like, or even back home, doesn't matter, when we're in closed spaces together or we're running our mouth, it's not something that we're doing publicly, like, oh, look at this guy, we're about to, we're gonna act like we're hella interested, but in between each other, we're like, man, you know how them guys are from over there. They don't give a shit about their women. You think they're gonna give a shit about us? Hell no.
Okay, she's full of crap. I know that they're not thinking that. They are not thinking that at all. She is speaking from the point of view of somebody who's in the sisterhood with them. Dominican women are not in the sisterhood with American women at all whatsoever. She is full of crap. Somebody says, I live a mile from a massage parlor, so I go that route somewhat often. Okay, here's the thing with that, to me. It's not sex. Happy endings are not well. It depends on the massage parlor. Let me scratch that. It depends on the massage parlor. I used to go to the regular Asian joints, right? The regular Oriental massage parlors. And I always get the oldest chick I could find because to me, they have the most experience and the most skill, right? And they really know how to dig into a brother's back. And when they ask me for that, I don't go back. We have a lot of those in California. I don't go back because it's awkward and I don't want to do it. And not because I'm against a hand job or a happy ending after a massage. Trust me, like if you get a good massage, there's nothing more you want than a hand job. And that's because for me, I should say, because all of the rest of my body is relaxed. All of the rest of my body, like 95% of my body has been touched. And you want somebody to relax that last 5%. So there is something psychologically going on with the happy ending that I do understand, right? The reason why I don't get it, not because I'm against prostitution or I'm against hand jobs or anything like that. The reason why I don't get it is because it's too expensive combined with the cost of the massage. So a massage costs $60. And the happy ending, they offer like $100. Well, okay, like $100 total if you get that. That's what they tell me, right? Plus, I think that they still want a regular tip on side of that. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going into a place and paying $100 and change for something. Just, like I feel bad enough getting a 60, but basically, why should I pay you more? Because I don't make $100 an hour. Why should I pay you more than what I make? Is a question. I mean, you're not a plumber, you're not an electrician, you're not, electrifying my house or plumbing my plumbing. Like, so yeah, I look at that. I look at it like that. So that's why I don't do it. So yeah, if they say full package, then you're getting more than just a happy ending. But and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, as long as you listen, there's nothing worse than waiting around on these bitches. There is nothing worse. There is nothing worse than waiting around for decades so you can marry them at their fattest. There is nothing worse than that. At their fattest and their least fertile. That is the worst thing you can do.
But he did invite me to such and such last night, and he said he's gonna drop XYZ. So that's how it goes. And I know they think that they're special, but they're not. They're just they'll never be. And the ones that do become special are the ones that have kind of like the Eurocentric lifestyle that are living up to the hype, that are actually professional, that go there and they already know the language, they're very, very cultured. Those are the ones that we'll talk to.
Now she's just making shit up.
But the other ones, ciao, please.
Wow. But that actually makes sense. That makes sense. So you can tell, the difference. So the man that is really trying to learn the language, learn the culture, and be a part of the culture. That's how you guys are able to make the determining factor. Of course, like they have some stuff going on for themselves.
Well, some will try to learn the culture in order to sleep with the girls.
Okay. I gotta King Sigma, I gotta disagree with you here. The American thought is pissed American men are taking their surplus money elsewhere. The rest of the anti-black men flunkies are angry. She is angry cowards. Okay, yeah. They're angry not just about the money. Or actually, I don't even disagree. I want to say it's not just about the money. What's going on is that their thirst plan because the whole mating strategy is to instill thirst. So they're not really afraid that these guys are going there to live. And then they're not afraid of the expats, so to speak, because those are few and far between. What they are pissed about is that they're being fed somewhere else. Okay, look at it like a dog, right? Look at it like those dogs on Game of Thrones. And I think it was the Bolton kid bastard. You know, he had these group of dogs, and he said that he hadn't fed them in weeks. And the reason he didn't feed them in weeks, so he can take advantage of their hunger later on. I repeat, he didn't feed his dogs for weeks so he could take advantage of their hunger later on. So he can feed these dogs humans, and they'll just ravenously eat anything at that point. That was the plan. So the plan for black men is to not feed them femininity, not feed them submission, not feed them consistent sex and quality sex, not feed them beauty, not feed them these things for a prolonged period of time. So by the time I'm ready for them, they'll eat anything. That is Randy Bolton's. Yeah, dogs. Thank you. Or Ramsey. That is the plan. Now, the thing that interferes with that plan is somebody else feeding them. Somebody else feeding them. Even if it's just a little bit, that ruins the whole 3 weeks of empty stomach. That's what they don't like. They don't like somebody else feeding them. You don't have to like go to another country and stay there and stuff for them to be threatened. All you have to do is get fed. Get fed from prostitutes, get fed from local women that you date, get fed from women that you meet online near. Just get fed. Just get fed beauty, femininity, submission, sex. Just get fed any of these things that you are supposed to be in the process of starving from. And then you will not be as ravenous later on. What's later on? When you have reached your economic pinnacle, you are supposed to settle for scraps at that point.
Right? Like they'll try to learn, but you can tell the difference because one is actually well traveled. Like one is well traveled, has businesses, is established. He's already talking about family and normal things that are same.
These white dudes are not talking about families. I've seen them. These white dudes are not talking about families. Those pickles, they are not over there talking about families at all, period. These dudes be owning brothels. Not brothels, but go-go bars. I was talking to a hoe in the Philippines. And I'm sitting there getting drinks. And she came to me and told me exactly how everything worked. This was in Angel Cities. And she said, that you can have sex with any of the girls here that you want to, right? And she told me the price and everything. And I was like, oh, for real? And then I was just joking, and I pointed to an older Filipino woman. I was like, all right, cool. I want that one right there, right? And she was like, no, not her. That's the mama san. I was like, well, you said I could have anyone I want. I want that one. She was like maybe like 60 years old or some crap like that. I was just joking. And no, but she laughed a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me even you said, and she was like, yeah. I was like, so do guys ask the waitress to go? And she said, no, not really. I don't really get much customers. I just work on the salary here. I was like, okay, bet. And then a guy comes in, right? And he was like the Ron Jeremy lookingest white dude you've seen. You know, he looks like he's like a fucking trucker painter type shit. And he came in and the girls was on the stage and one of them was like facing the wrong way. And he just like pointed like angrily and shit like that. And so she started dancing on the other side. And I was looking at him and I asked the waitress, I was like, who the fuck is that? Right. And she was like, well, you know, he's the daddy of the club. He owns the spot, right? And I was like, oh, I said, oh, so he gets to fuck all of you, right? And I said you, I was including her in the package. And she said, yeah, he pretty much can do whatever he wants sexually. Right. I was like, so why is he so angry? Because this dude looked like the angriest white man you ever seen in your whole fucking life. He looked like, and I'll never forget, because this was like on TV, this was like the angriest white dude that I seen. There's a movie called Casino, and Robert De Niro was the owner, or he was the manager of this casino, and he had like this old white dude that walked around with a shotgun with a real angry ass look on his face. He looked just like that. I was like, damn, he should be happy given this situation, right? I'm going too far into it. But the point of the story is they are not there looking to set up wives and shit like that. It looks like he just looked to buy a go-go bar so he could bully a bunch of Filipina chicks. So he could fuck a bunch of Filipino hoes. And the country was littered with a bunch of overweight, angry white dudes. There were no yachts or no shut your ass up.
In good manner, but for the most part, they don't talk about that. They're just like, what are we gonna do later? How are we gonna party? Where can I find weeds? Where can I find this, that, and the other? And you just kind of like the runner girl that, you know, ends up being the hookup girl. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
But
Okay. Well, thank you, Just Magic. I appreciate you for coming up here and giving us a bomb. I can't even say that, girl, because I was not expecting that. But
all right.
thank you
No
for
doubt.
coming up here and sharing. We appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay. Conscious.
All right, so that's that. Now, I will say this. From what I've seen, and this is from what I've seen in the white guys that that deal in prostitutes in the Dominican, is that they do look for girlfriend experiences with okay, I should say there exist those who do look for girlfriend experiences with dark-skinned Haitian women. They're more into the dark-skinned Haitian women than they are into the local Dominican population. I don't know why they're not in Haiti for that, but I'm pretty sure they have their reasons. That aside, and this is something separate than the prostitution angle. This is outside of the prostitution areas and things like that. It is a dating, mating, relating advantage if you can reasonably blend in with the local population. at least physically. If you look somewhat like a guy that she has been with, first of all, you should always look your best, fellas. Don't go anywhere. I'm not saying don't go anywhere, but if you're overweight, ungroomed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then you are not being the best representation of yourself, and you're not being the best representation of your tribe, like me. So, I'm not saying don't go if you're like that, but definitely work on that if you are. So, word to the wise there. Now, that being said, there is a certain comfort that they receive from being with a guy who blends in with the locals. I mean, these are the guys that they have been attracted to their whole life. You know, you're definitely, as a black man, unless you're extraordinarily dark. But as a black man, I mean, even if you are, you still have that with Haitian girls and girls who like darker skinned black men. But there is an extraordinary advantage in that. You can be physically attractive to them, but you are not so foreign that it's off-putting. So know that that is a thing. She says that works to your advantage because they look at you and look at how you treat Black American women. Shut your ass up. That does not ever come up ever. For one, I don't bring stuff like that up. I never, even when I first started traveling, I never bring up like Black American women because, like, why? I don't bring up Black American women when I date like non-Black women here. I didn't bring it up in my last relationship with the African girl. Now, I may have thought it from time to time. I mean, and like it'll come up, but not really in the way that she's talking about. Like I'll point out like problems in the culture that's not even uniquely Black American culture, but that's really just like more American culture. In a conversation about that, she say stuff like, like y'all put old people into nursing homes, y'all don't take care of them. And then I would say something like, well, in America, the old don't really take care of the young the same way that you guys do. But that's it. It's not like I'm sitting here talking about fuck that. No. You do yourself more harm than good. And keep this out. Keep this out. Whatever we talk about here, keep this out of you all's personal love life. Do yourself a favor with that. All right. So let me put this out. Let me put the link out there. Especially if King Signal want to join. I think Edward was asking. I'm up too. So do that. All right. So that's them apparently, and I suspected it. She's in that divester crew, but they are really, really worried about this. And once again, I showed y'all in the beginning, for those of you who got here late, I showed y'all the white guy who is all over the world with 6 million views and stuff, and he gets no pushback. He gets no pushbacks on his trips to Africa. He gets no pushback on his trips to Brazil. His trips anywhere, he gets no pushback from white women. So why are Black women more aggressive with the pushback? And the reason is it interferes with their hustle plan. I repeat, it interferes with their hustle plan. Now, gonna go to the last video, and y'all probably already seen this, but I'm gonna play it again because I'm going to explain what the hustle plan is. All right, so hold on one moment. Let me cue it up. All right. Now, what hustle am I talking about? All right. Well, Trill is about to explain it to us because Trill is Trill. All right.
Or let's get back into this. We're going to talk about the power of the box. I've noticed
the power of the box, people. The power of the box.
Myself, we're not going to lie about it, that women are not listening to men, especially in these spaces. They asked us to just listen, and we don't, or we won't. They say, can you cut your nails down a little bit? And we say, no, we won't. It's like, wear your natural hair. And we say, no, we won't. Make your dress a little longer. You know, if you just do that, you know, maybe we can get together. No, I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do. So with that being said, Trill, how would you advise a woman that wants to be married to pursue a man? Not necessarily pursue, but make herself available for men.
She has to understand the concept of leverage. Just like with anything else in business, like if I'm majority owner of this company, then it's I can throw my weight around in terms of getting what it is that I want from a man. But women don't. I don't want to say have the wherewithal, because they do know how powerful that thing between their legs are. But again, I think they give it away so freely to where it loses value, and even they might.
Okay. Now, I know that Trill thinks that he's introducing this concept to women. But really, Black American women have been doing this all along. Now, there are people out there, especially the chest beating types, that'll say, yeah, but I get some pussy. You're getting scraps. See, I want you to think about it as a narcotic of sorts. The key is to make sure the person stays hooked. So every now and again, somebody will say, okay, here you go. Here's something, you know, the first one's free. And then once you're hooked, you're stuck on it for whatever. You do anything that they want because they got you at that point. And they know that if you ever find yourself in a situation where you go through withdrawals or something like that, they do what they give you another hit free just to keep you addicted. So a lot of people are in that situation. But the truth of the matter is they've always been doing that. They've been leveraging men. They've been using sex to leverage men to get what they want out of him. They use that on you, Trill. You want to know how I know that they use this technique on you and you don't even realize it? Because you are a full-on simp. And that is what they want out of you. They use sex to leverage you into being a simp. And there you are. And you're wearing that hat. That is exactly what happened.
But fact is that, you know, you don't have to argue with a man. You don't have to get loud with a man or anything to control him. Women have the most powerful asset in existence. That's just what it is. It's more powerful than money. It's more powerful than anything else. If you look up murders that happen in society, more times than not, especially between men, more times than not, it's a woman related to it. Men will kill you over a woman faster than they'll kill you over stealing money from. But then people will say, oh, money is the most. No, it's not. What's between women's legs is the most powerful asset. But the fact is women don't wield it accordingly because of selfish reasoning. So
They are wielding it accordingly. They are wielding their vagina accordingly. That is why Black men are born to be licks. Because of the way Black women are wielding their vaginas. Like you, Trill. You see, what you're doing is you're not giving them advice. You're telling them that the thing that they're already doing is going to be effective. Because this is what they want to believe. They want to believe that they can, simply manage their vaginas properly and not have to do anything else to control their mate. Now, that's going to be true for few. And the reason why it's going to be true for few is because in order to make it scarce, the majority of the female population cannot be in healthy relationships, or else it completely negates the concept of scarcity. You can't have scarcity in a situation where like 95% of the female population is married. You're going to have some Winona from Good Times out there just, parceling out pussy, from time to time. You have to. And the more women like that, the more women who are willfully single, the greater the control is of the remaining men. That's what they want. They catered their society completely around that. He's not telling them anything new, but it is something that they want to hear. You see, I was wondering, why do regular shaped women, and when I say regular shaped women, I'm talking about non-fat bitches. Why do regular shaped women cheer when they see a couple consisting of a fat woman? Why do they cheer when they see that? You see, the reason, King Sigma, the reason that they cheer that on is because they are gauging the thirst of society. They're gauging how thirsty society is. It's kind of like if I am looking to open up a place that sells bottled water, and I'm looking and I see people drinking out of a swamp or out of a sewer, I'm like, yeah, they thirsty. They thirsty. I can get over on this. So he's not telling them anything new. What he is doing is he's explaining the game plan that already exists. And unfortunately, brothers traveling or dating interracially or internationally are just getting their thirst quenched in other places is a threat to the overall plan. Getting your thirst quenched in another place is a threat to their overall design to control my penis. But you can't have it. It will not be controlled. Not by you or not by anyone else. And look at Security Boss. Look at the look on her face. Look at the subtle smirk in her soul just by hearing. She's already married. Just by hearing the fact that her vagina. Look at Chantel's face. She's just disgusted by the notion. This man said, your pussy is the ultimate power, and she's just sitting there with that look on her face. And why? Because she can wield it on her husband. And they do. They do. You think marriage is the end of it? Nope. It is still wielded on you.
So because you're willing to give me the most powerful part of you, the most powerful asset
The most
in
powerful
world,
part
with
of
little
you.
to no effort, how can you expect me to be willing to give any? What type of incentive do I have? I'm getting 99% of the benefits from you without even being in a relationship. It doesn't matter what you're worth. You know, I gave an example early on the podcast. If I walk into a Mercedes-Benz dealership and they got a Benz on the showroom floor, brand new, I checked the mileage. It has 2 miles on it. And the price tag in the window is $200. Or as a man, are you going to pay the $200 that the price tag says, or are you going to pay the $80,000 that is actually?
You damn right. It is a marketplace. And as a man in the marketplace, what you do is you shop around. You shop around. I do that with everything. If you're looking for a Benz and you know, and that price tag says $80,000, and you find another price tag that says $70,000, then you know, then you keep shopping until you get the price you want. Even if you got to go to Germany itself, if you find out that it's cheaper to buy it in Germany and ship it here, then that's what you do. You get the most car for your buck. And here, it's a bunch of lemons, expensive lemons. Fuck that. No. You know what your pussy is? I'm talking to American black women. Your pussy is Detroit. It's Detroit. It's Michigan. What do I mean by that? I was talking to Bernard Riley, my good friend and brother Bernard Riley. And he said something that I suspected already. This man, you know this man, until I brought it up to him, and he'll confirm this, he never heard of a Tesla. By the way, Bernard lives in Michigan. He never heard of a Tesla. He never heard of that good semi-AI controlled, fully electric luxury automobiles that is built here in California called Tesla.
How old do you gotta be? How old do you gotta be for that to be true?
For what to be true?
That you never heard of a Tesla and you live in Michigan.
Bernard is 40.
That's insane. Teslas have been around for like 20 years. Bernard is from Detroit. That's the home of the car. So that's kind of surprising. Wow.
Here's why. Because they're implementing the same tactic that these simps and passport hoes are implementing. That is keeping the population ignorant. Michigan is deliberately keeping the population ignorant of Teslas. Not only are they not allowed there, you know, they also don't tell them about their existence for, like you say, for the last 20 years. And they're doing that in order to get them to buy the old Dodge, the old Ford.
Yes. And they killed the electric car because GM, I had a lot of people in my family, you know, obviously we're Midwesterners, and a lot of them worked for Ford and General Motors. Mm-hmm. And they actually were the first company to have electric car with General Motor and Ford right there in Detroit. And they were actually the conglomerates that killed the first electric car back in like, I think it was like the early 80s. They had a fully active car, but the people at Ford and GM decided to kill it. So yeah, I could see what you mean by them keeping people in a bubble and being analogous to the passport bro situation, because in a prior conversation with someone, they were talking about the 48 laws of power, right?
Right.
And this person claims that they are also an anti-passport person. And I asked him, I said, so you're a fan of the 48 laws of power, but you're also against black men traveling. And that's one of the more important laws. That's one of the first 25 laws, the law of isolation. That's one of the things that they talked about in the 48 laws of power was law 18, where they talked about how isolation is dangerous to the individual that is being propagandized. So the example that you're using of even Bernard being a 40-year-old man from the car capital of the world, yet not knowing about a Tesla until the last 2 years, this is the same thing with the plantation mind when it comes to traveling outside of the American matrix. They isolate themselves and they celebrate it, not knowing that your enemies want to isolate you. They want you to build walls around yourself so that you won't know anything outside of that environment. And I think that's what's being shown with the Passport Bro movement. These people believe they're honored to be slaves. And it's very disgusting to me.
And the isolation comes in many forms. It comes in, don't mess with that white girl, community, 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 community. It comes in many forms. We are isolated. You're right. They used to be able to do it because of fear of the white community. We were isolated by that. We was isolated by fear of lynching, just, stick to your own, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They used that, they built momentum on that and continued with the isolation and propaganda, because what the woman in the previous video was doing was propaganda. Like, oh no, it's horrible over there. It's horrible over there. Their beautiful women use sex to get $20 out of you. Like, don't you know that if you're with a beautiful woman there, you leave $20 on the nightstand and she might take it? Like they're trying. It's fear mongering. It's fear mongering. But you're right. The step one is isolation. You are not to know about the others. You're supposed to be afraid of the others. Because there's no boundaries and there's no actual lynchings and stuff, really the only isolation that they can instill on a population is the isolation that they put on themselves, the bonds, the chains, and things like that we put in our own mind.
Did you ever see the movie The Village by M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes, I did. It was one of the few movies of his that I like. Most of his stuff is crap, but no, I did like that one. I was actually shocked at the end.
Yeah, exactly. See, and what you're describing is exactly what happened in the movie The Village.
That's a whole separate video.
I want you should do
that. You're welcome. Just like we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that other thing we talked about. But yeah, but no, you're welcome to come with me on that. You're right. That is a perfect analogy of passport bros hating. The only caveat is that they were doing it for the well-being of the people in the village.
Yeah, and that's what this passport conversation reminds me of. I don't know if you remember a video a couple years back from the late David Carroll called the Mud Seal Theory. Man. And the Mud Seal Theory was an argument put forward by pro-slavery slavers back in the 1800s when the whole abolitionist conversation was coming up. And a lot of the same arguments he was making in his theory that these are people who are the mud seal and underclass of society for these annotated reasons, right? And he went through like a list of these reasons, this white guy who was a slaver back in the 1800s. The same kind of arguments that are being made by the anti-black male contingents right now is the same thing that the pro-slavery and the pro-Jim Crow white nationalists were making during their time. And I think that's what's so discouraging to see, because the same people on one hand who will talk about community this and community that, they are too stupid and shallow to see that the very same antiquated arguments that they're making against black men are eventually going to be reshored back to American men, even once this traveling conversation dies down. Because again, this is a straw man of the greatest degree, okay? Once this whole conversation dies down, though, what people aren't seeing is that on the other side of this fog is going to be a diminished status of domestic black males in the eyes of not just America, because we already have our own internal conflicts as it is, but is anyone thinking about how diminished the image of the black man will be internationally and domestic wise once this whole thing is done? And it won't have been done by white supremacists that they talk about. It will have been black men and black women who would have led the charge to undermine black men across the world. This is horrible thing to witness.
Wait, you're talking about the Austin incident?
Well, not just Austin is just, come on, man. He's just a piñata for the greater movement of black men across the planet. But I'm talking about Austin. I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about you. And I'm talking about any black man who believes that he's a global citizen and a free man. What I'm saying is that this conversation that's being had, the way that they're painting this image of black men as predators, as uncivilized, uncultured, it's a straw man, because the facts is that professional black men are the most well-traveled. Military veterans are the most traveled black men, even as of this conversation. So that means that we're undermining the professional class of black men and the military vet, because they are the ones that are actually traveling. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the stereotypes that have mostly been housed here in America, because we have our own internal issues, is now being spewed out to the entire world to paint black men as what the Klan and Nazis have been painting black men as slow-witted, uncultured, sexual predators. This is being done by other black people. And I'm just saying that I'm sick and tired of hearing about white supremacy when I turn on social media and the ones that I see at the vanguard of the anti-black male armies are black people themselves.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. And that's what I mean when I say we were born to be licks. You know, it's the 5 monkey syndrome is what it is, you know. And for those of you who don't, well, I won't explain that. Look it up. The 5 monkey syndrome.
No, do explain it, because you explained it before and it's been a while. I want you to break. That was a good example with that monkeys that you did. So go ahead and break it down.
Damn, I'm hungry. But all right, I'm going to do this. All right, so 5 monkeys works like this. You take 5 monkeys, you put them in the cage. In this cage, in the middle of the cage is a ladder. And on the top of that ladder is an entire bushel of bananas, right? So naturally, one of the monkeys tried to climb the ladder, and the humans spray all of the monkeys with water to punish him for trying to climb the ladder. And then a second monkey tries to climb the ladder, and the humans spray the monkeys with water again. And then the third monkey attempts to climb the ladder, and then the other 4 jumps him, presumably because they don't want to get sprayed with water. So that happens. Now, the humans stop spraying the monkeys with water, right? And then they take one monkey out of the cage and replace it with a fresh monkey. And this fresh monkey says, I wonder why nobody else is trying to get these bananas. So he tries to climb up top the ladder. And then the other 4 monkeys jump him because they remember what it's like to be sprayed with water. And then they replace another one of the original monkeys with a fresh monkey. This fresh monkey tries to climb the ladder. And then not only do the 3 monkeys who got sprayed with water jump him, but the other monkey who got jumped and never sprayed jumps him as well. They continue this process until the cage is full of monkeys that have never been sprayed with water. And none of these monkeys ever climb the ladder and get the bananas. So
and I like that analogy because it applies to everything that we're talking about in terms of the passport bros. It applies to Jim Crowism, and it applies to slavery, because that same project and that same method was used through all these other systems of breaking the rebellious, type of person. It's meant to break you. That's the whole reason that they have that method. And this passport bro, slander is another form of breaking men, not the actual men that are the natural rebels, but the ones that are kind of the 50-50 guy. So what it is, the goal is to put fear in those that are on the fence. Because again, we know that no matter the abuse, there are always going to be those that arise, like the MLKs, the Malcolm X's types. There are always those. But what they do, they have to isolate them by putting the fear in the group that would be the 50-50 group. Because you're always going to have those that are on one extreme or the other of the bell curve, but it's that group in the middle. And I think those are the men right now who are the most dangerous, because I tend to believe that with this level of propaganda, you're going to see a lot of those men get swayed in the wrong direction and then set back what black men are trying to do in freeing the minds and freeing the bodies and freeing the resources of black men. That group, they're the ones that represent that monkey. That's the one on the ladder that's trying to pull the other one down after being beaten and abused by the handlers or whatnot.
Right. Well, I mean, what's worse is, here's another analogy with the monkeys too. A lot of the passport bros represent a monkey on top of the ladder, attempting to share bananas with others. And the other monkeys don't know why, they want to attack this guy, but they just do. You see where I'm going with this, Sigma?
No, I absolutely see. That's why I wanted you to tell the analogy again, because I love the analogy because it connects with a lot of studies from that era. There was another one, the Stanford experiment.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Because they all basically were trying to say that we believe in free will, but in a society, free will is limited. And it's limited to the extent that the ruling party exercises their authoritarianism. And so the more authoritarian, the more the people themselves will inflict damage on their own group to allow the elites to control them. The more brutal they are to a small group, the easier it is to make that small group of brutalized victims become the victimizers of the other ones, actually alleviating the elites from doing the dirty work themselves. And this has been going on for a long time. That's why
with the Stanford experiment, you're talking about the prison simulation, right?
Yeah, the prison simulation, but there was another one, the shock one. You remember the shock one?
Yeah, I remember the shock one. That one, that one is closer in line to exactly what you were saying.
Yeah,
You're
I'm talking about the shock one.
Perceived authority. Yeah.
Yeah, because what happens is that to give an example is that we live in an age of the algorithm influencer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the influencers are just like the proctors in that shock experiment. If the influencer leads their quote unquote fans to believe that what they're saying is true, they will likely follow the algorithm influencer. And the same thing happened in that shock experiment. If they trust the figure that's giving them the instructions, even if it's a level of evil, people will go along with it. We saw this with the Nazis and the Jews. They didn't just boil the frog immediately. In order to destroy the European Jews, they had to boil the frog slowly through propaganda and through controlling the influencers of their society. And what I'm saying is that the same thing is happening with Passport Bros. You have a lot of content creators and influencers who are broke e-bums that are actually helping to shepherd this propaganda to the mainstream, not caring at all what the damage will be long term, because again, these are people who depend on the algorithm for their sustenance. So they're willing to go as far as possible because, again, like those people who lived in Nazi Germany but believe that they will be free from the Nazis when they got in power, you've always had this group of influencers who are willing to do all types of things if it benefits them financially or socially. And that's what we have right now.
And never, in no other community, I'll get to you, Chaos, but in no other communities do you see groupthink polarized so much as the Black community. Like, and I was saying this on a previous stream about how there's different subsets of white people in any given white population. You'll have bikers, you'll have the country boys, you'll have the goth ones, you'll have the skateboarders, you'll have the surfers, you'll have the bikers. By bikers, I mean, like, of course you have the motorcycle bikers, but I'm talking about like the people who ride BMX bikers. You have the guys that hike and eat granola all day and stuff like that. So you have different subsets of whiteness, but Blackness, we all tend to, not all, but for the most part, there are very few outliers. We tend to stick with a very cookie cutter thing because we do follow the trends, the individual trends that are within the Black community. For example, this is why I brought the screen back up. Look at this. Now we all were alive in the 90s, right? And everybody here, I think, and there wasn't a bearded face amongst us. But now, I don't know who it was, Rick Ross or what have you, who popularized it, and now it's everywhere. I'm like, wait a minute, some external force, some wizard out there said beard, let there be beards. And then you see it. Look at Trill, look at Ricky, look at Hank. It's like beard, beard, beard. Sweatshirt, sweatshirt, sweatshirt. Look at this. Beard, beard, beard. This one, he's Chicago Gorilla. I think he had one and he shaved it, or he's in the process of regrowing it or something like that. But I'm saying, we follow trends,
Yes.
to a fault. There's it goes to what you were saying in the Stanford experiment, like we're too much on that. There isn't
Well, the
enough
only
free thinking
defense,
black men.
again, thank you. So many people have asked me, they're like, Sigma, you were one of the first people I ever heard use the term passport bros, but you rarely talk about it. And what you just said is the reason why. I'm a thinking black man. That's how I classify myself. I don't classify myself as anything more than that. But what you just said is critical, because if you don't do your own research, how can you be a thinking black man? I think that's what this is. That's the only defense really against the algorithm, is to be a person that does your own independent research. But the problem is people are so lazy now, and they're so willing to outsource their mind now. People are literally
it's
now
more than lazy. Kick
What's
Sigma. People don't read. You notice in the space, when you notice typical people, men and women, mostly we're men talking about, you could tell how much reading most men do, and it's very little at all. They're just getting word of mouth mostly. Most of all the information. Like you say by yourself, and that's cool. You get me? When I do come on your channel, it look like you put some time, energy to look up some of these articles, look at some information. How many men doing this? Kicks in beside yourself, and your content's not that big, correct?
No, I don't think it's the majority. But again, I don't move for the majority. We know that it doesn't take the majority to move minds. It takes a minority that has a strong, united ideology that can resist other ideologies. That's why I'm saying what GameChanger mentioned about the thinking black man. That's the only label that I'll let anyone put on me. You can't put no other label on me, because I can think for myself. If GameChanger tells me, hey, there was this study or there was this research I heard about, I don't want him to break it down to me without sending it to me. I want to read it myself, and then I want to come back.
And there's the line that draws. You want to give it to me to read to yourself. How many of them say ask for that? Very little. They say, okay, I'll take word of mouth, because it goes back again. You had to sit there and read the article. That means you had to sit there, find it, or someone give it to you. You had to read it and make your own conclusions. How many men? Let's be honest, because we men up here, that you could say off your own perspective, what you see kicking up are thinking black men. In
it's
general.
less than 20%.
Well, let me ask both of y'all this. Let me ask both of y'all this. What was the last thing that you read for entertainment purposes, Sigma?
For entertainment purposes?
Uh-huh.
I would say probably about the Super Bowl. I read an article about the Super Bowl this week.
Okay.
Any novels?
I really don't read novels for entertainment. Only novels I read is mostly like kind of like hardcore, like 1984, stuff like that, Brave New World. So I don't
That's
know.
entertainment.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like trivial.
Oh, come on, man. But it's still reading, because you have to still keep your mind reading. I mean, I don't really focus on what content you read.
So 1984 was the last one you did, right?
I think that's the last one I reread was 1984. Yeah, a novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Chaos?
Actually, let me show you the books that I've not completely read, but I've got back reading again. Let me see. Let me turn my camera. Give me a second. All right. I got position. It's good. Okay, no.
But a good nonfiction book that I'm reading right now is The Mediations by Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
This is what I'm getting back to, and I have some other books that I have to go back. But the point is this, and this one I got to finish reading anyway, because it's a big book, but it's like 300 pages. But the point is this, like Kixima said himself, that give me the information, let me read it and make my own conclusions, because it goes back to you have to think out of your own mind what you're reading, correct? And so someone tells you, say, I'm going to give you information, this is what I get, and you got to take me verbatim. Am I right, Kixima?
No, you are right. But what I'm saying in response to what GameChanger was talking about is that the algorithm influencer has these audiences who are the male or female influencer is not forcing them to take their word as law. They're choosing to be influenced and being controlled by someone because they're too lazy to actually do the work themselves. And that's why I say the only label that can be applied to me is thinking black man. You can't put me as a passport, bro. You can't put me as red pill or anything like that, because when all those ideologies are done and tarnished, there will only be one thing standing: the person that can think for themselves. Everyone else will be enslaved by whatever the social order is that comes out of the ashes of what's happening right now. I'm just saying that when you talk about this passport bro topic, the level of propaganda that I'm hearing is so shocking to me because in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anti-Black male misandry be this normalized. This was something that was underground, the level of hatred for Black men by other Blacks.
It wasn't underground. Oprah made it apparent. Like it's been in mainstream for quite some time.
See, but here's okay. You are
Yeah,
right
but that's
about
people who watch.
You are right about Oprah, but what I'm saying is that so let me be clear. For me personally, I've never seen it in the level I'm seeing it now with social media. Meaning everyone is okay and feels good and confident hating Black men publicly and being cheered on and funded to do so. I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah. I mean, now because we are pushing back, they're pushing forward harder. Now, take a look at this guy, right? And I talked about this. I think you got here later, but I talked about guys like this that travel the world, meet women, and get millions of views. These are white guys, get millions of views. I found my wife in a Guatemalan village. Apparently, it's this one here, in yellow. You know, and I haven't seen this before, but because I was clicking on some of these earlier, you know, these came up. And watch this. All right, so he has more subscribers than Austin and 1 million views. And if this is anything like the ones I looked at before, the white dudes I looked at before, do you want to come to my house? There's no pushback. There's no hate. Where are the white women, Kingston? Where are the white women hating on white men who are doing the exact same thing? Just looking dorky, having frilly hair, and happily on the back of a Guatemalan villager's bike. Like, where's the hate that they receive for doing stuff like
There is no hate for passport.
It's a million views. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't come from Passport Becky either. So yeah, this is a uniquely Black female thing.
And see, the point I'm trying to get at, GameChanger, is that they don't see how this is going to come back to haunt us here in America, is what I'm saying. Because you're destroying what would be potential allies of Black people, not just Black men, but Black people. The Black women travel more than Black men. They don't think that some of this hatred towards Black men is going to come back on them when they're traveling overseas. Why isn't anyone talking about that? These people see.
Oh, you mean the black woman? I got some for that.
Hold on, Rain. Hold on. Okay. What I'm saying is that the Black women that are behind this and that are cheering these anti-Black male stereotypes, they're gonna feel some backlash in the future as well. They just don't see it because whatever they may think, oh, we're different from Black men. When let's say that you had some success and you could cut passport bros by 50%, and the Black women kept traveling, you're gonna see more and more people feeling very comfortable attacking and niggerizing them overseas, because they will say, well, if you're the designated female counterpart of those men, how could they grow up in your environment and be raised by you and not be representative of the culture that you're supposed to pass down to them? These people have cultures, and they understand that men, we create the culture, and it's the woman's job up until a certain age to secure that culture with the children, especially with the male and females before the age of 6. So what I'm saying is that eventually these other groups are going to start to look at them as the weakest link, not the men, because they have their own culture where men have a role and women have a role. And part of that role is engineering and rearing the children.
Right.
But let me push back. That sounds good, but here's the caveat why a lot of women don't fear that. And if it eventually comes, is because these ladies, when they travel and they get dick, wherever the case may be, sometimes someone might bring back their lovers from overseas, or they don't. It's not much a problem because they know that they going around spending their money is all good because there's no outcome out of it. That's why they don't mind them traveling all about. And they've been doing this longer than men for the last 50 years. I remember a book by Bianca Belair wrote, and I probably do content on that, especially to extensive on that they did studies on this. So for them demonizing, let's say, the men that do it for whatever reason, that it just gives more money in pot and more leverage for them. to go.
See, and you and I are gonna have to disagree on that, because there's been stories of women being assaulted, abused, and killed overseas who were because again the cultural thing. If you niggerize the black male, eventually there's gonna be some blowback for those women as well, because they may feel comfortable going over there now, but when they go over there, the environment will have changed because of the influence of the anti-black propaganda. They will say that we don't even want you over here at all. We're gonna abuse you when you come over here. We're going to allow these people here to assault you while you're here. You can't say for sure that won't be one of the effects, because again, when you undermine the black male, who is the image of the protector and producer of the group, you're undermining the women. The guy in that video was talking about, oh, the women's vagina is so valuable. A vagina has no value if it can't be protected in a safe environment. What value does a female vagina have if the male cannot protect her in the state of when she's horny, and when she's pregnant, and when she's in a motherhood? That requires male protection. The true value of a biological asset is the brain. The human mind is the most valuable asset, not the vagina, because it's a human mind that has given us the ability to survive for 4 million years and protect their wombs. So that was a false simp lie that he was saying. There is no freedom for that female that doesn't include black male's freedom. I would never encourage black men to purposely go out of their way to smear traveling black women. You don't hear passport positive men smearing these women from traveling, because it will have an impact on them as well. Like GameChanger said, why are you even caring about the domestic bitch when you're overseas? What man is sitting overseas in total luxury, and he's telling you that he's having a good time then thinking about what Keisha's doing 10,000 miles away? These aren't the real passport bros. These are the interlocutors who have joined in on this conversation only in the last 12 months. That's how you know. Because 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, that was not the conversation we were having at all on this topic.
Well, I mean, so there are the guys, because I think Austin did it a little bit when he first started, but then he's not even thinking about American women anymore.
Yeah, and that's
right quick, ass. You know, so there is you just got to get away from it, and once you get that clarity, you start appreciating the future and the present, and stop dwelling on the past. So, it was a bit of a learning curve for some of the guys, but they eventually get to the point where, they're just like these white dudes, and they're really just talking about their experiences now, not the trauma that they came from. But I wanted to segue a little bit on what Sigma was saying while I still have this in thought about how damaging it is to Black women when they, by talking about Black men the way that they have been for the past 50 years or so, it is, and it has played out that way, that it's extraordinarily damaging. And to them, they don't really realize how foolish they sound. Because they've been talking this swirl stuff for years. Oprah they've been talking swirl stuff for quite some time. They don't really realize how foolish it sounds to talk about your men that way, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to just say that there is a genetic inferiority that only affects the Y chromosome for whatever reason amongst Blacks, and then use that as a selling point to Brad. But Brad is saying, wait a minute, if there's a genetic inferiority that comes with that chromosome, then I don't want a genetically inferior son
or daughter.
Bingo.
Daughters don't have white chromosomes. Chaos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going back.
Yeah, and they're not attacking the daughters. So while they're thinking like, I get a light-skinned daughter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, he's thinking like, wait a minute, if what you're saying is true, then I have this problem. And if what you're saying is true, then that is more reason that I should get with a white woman to preserve the good thing that I have going on genetically. Like,
exactly. Thank you.
But so even after all of this, after 50 years of this stuff, the marriage rate is still really, really, really low between the two pairings. And it's like, why? If like the thing that you also love about Brad wants his son to have that advantage. Like, why would he want a son that is being mistreated by his own women?
And then the question, Game Changer,
Okay.
thank you for that. The next question still remains on this topic. Is that biracial child with the black woman and the white man considered black in society? Has the dominant society ever said that that child was anything but black? So I never could understand how mating based on hatred for a group that you're going to still be reproducing to some level will benefit your own offspring. If your hatred of the black man is so pathological that you're doing this because of pro, love for the white man or love for Brad, you're gonna pass that mindset. What kind of son will come of a union between a hateful black woman and a racist white man? This can be nothing but a tragic mulatto. Nothing can come of that but a tragic mulatto. And history is littered with examples of the damage done to a biracial child that's born out of hate. It's one thing to be with someone because they're the best option for you, regardless of race, which is what I promote. I would tell any male or woman listening, if you're compatible with someone based on characteristics outside of race, and that's your best option, take that option. But if what brings you together and what connects you is your shared hatred for the race within that union. So if you're a black woman and you hate being black and you get with a white racist, I can guarantee you that the curse that you will have for your children is that they will hate themselves. Because again, if you have a biracial son, society, the dominant society, the Brad that you love, has decided for generations that that is a black child and will be treated like a black man in society. Period.
All right, let me read this, and then I'm gonna respond to what Celine was saying on the topic. But
I'm gonna say something quickly before you respond. But read the super chat, please.
Okay, their Poon is a '78 Ford Pinto, but they try to sell it to you like a 2022 BMW M340, and try to charge you that price. Exactly. Like they do, and that's why you have the women who are like 250 pounds walking around like they dimes and stuff. Children's are what their fathers are. Okay, so we have a different history. What you're talking about is aristocracy. And yes, that is true in an aristocracy, and a patriarchal aristocracy. That's not true in any sense that we as African American has experienced. Children were always what their mother are, and that is even if you were like the Duke of, I don't know, somewhere, and you were to impregnate a slave, that child would be a slave. So the social status was inherited by the mother. In that sense, and that's how it's been for us for quite some time, and that's how it is in modern America, where women are the primary influencer of the children. Unfortunate but true. So that's not so true in this place, in this time, and in this community, Celine. You out your damn mind. You out your.
I'm sorry, but Game Changer is right on that. He's 100% right on that. The history has always in slavery. If you were a black woman messing around with Brad, your children were enslaved. It went all the way through Jim Crow. But if you were a white woman and you had a kid by a black male slave, that kid would actually be free. So what you're saying only applies to black men. Yes, it's true. If your father is black, you will be treated as black within the American KKK structure. That is true, but it has not been true for white men. The history is totally opposed to what you're saying. They have always been treated like a black. W.B. Du Bois, was he given white privileges and treated as a white man? No. That was one of the reasons that W. Du Bois was so angry, because he was half white and black, but he didn't get the treatment of a white man. And that's why he was one of the hardest advocates against Jim Crowism and things like that, because he didn't get the accepted of his father.
Sense. That makes sense. Because he couldn't get accepted. So it's I gotta go against him because you're against me.
Well, let's do this because I want to drive the point home to Celine before we move forward, because she's not familiar with like one drop rule and stuff like that. But let's do this. Chaos, you're studying because you sent me emails requesting.
I'm doing things right now. I'm not studying, but go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're at present a student of computer science, and I wanted to have you explain the concept of inclusive or.
Inclusive or I'm trying to remember again. Inclusive or you might have to go in detail. I'm not really
no worries. So inclusive or is basic. Okay, so say one thing has to be true in order for the thing to be true. For example, a man has to be both tall and rich to gain a certain woman's attention, right? That would be and. Or would be if the woman was to say, you know, a man has to be tall or rich.
Oh, I think I get you talking about. Is if you had the symbol, I can recognize the symbol. I think I'm following you a little bit because it's something deal like NAND gates and also it's some symbol. But yeah,
exactly.
I'm following you.
Yeah, no worries. So that would be an exclusive or, because actually that would be an inclusive or because he could have both, and then that would be the case. But the point is that this is a inclusive or situation, Celine, meaning that if one of the parents is black, meaning that if the mother or the father is black, the child is black. That's how it's working in modern society. Now, I don't know if that's unfortunate or fortunate, but nevertheless, that is the case. Now, and that's the general perception of all of modern American society. So,
well, I'm not teaching my biracial kids that they're going to be biracial, so they're going to love who they are. And
we'll get to
relax. Not yet.
All right. So that being the case, you are doing yourself a disservice by advertising basically the product that you're selling, which is a male heir, because you're selling this to a patriarchal minded person. You know, you are selling them the concept of an inferior heir, and you're not doing yourself any service by doing that. All right, Chaos, and then Anna.
Yeah.
Wait, Sigma, you got something before we go?
Yeah, I just want to stick on that so that Celine, because she said in the chat that she doesn't understand. I want her to understand that in the eyes of the white dominant society here in America, historically, the slave mother having a mixed child was a slave asset on the accounting records. That child was a slave asset, whether it ended up in the house, field, whatever. But a union between a black male slave and that white woman was a free black person. That was problematic for the slavers for many reasons. One, it set a bad example for the slaves, that there was an option for their children in the future to get off this plantation through black male and white female unions. Two, that situation would have more free blacks living close to the plantation that could be dangerous because they were related to those slaves on the plantation. So there were many reasons why we've always seen a society of America police black male sexuality, especially when it comes to white women, because that white woman's womb meant freedom for that mixed child. But the black woman's womb meant slavery. So he got in-house pussy. He got a multiracial slave asset. And then there was no threat. There's many reasons why what she said is false in regards to the father being the progenitor of their racial determination society. That's just false historically.
I gotta say this quickly. I gotta step away for a minute. In regards to all that, you gotta keep in mind that when whites did produce from black slaves, majority of some of the time, the slave master would delete those childs too, because he knows the implications as well. So, so Selena know that there's many ways they play it during them times, because it's always about mate guarding and, protecting the little white wealth as well. That's why they had to create these parameters for themselves. You get me?
No,
that's
nothing about that makes sense. Because the slave himself, him or herself, is an asset, there wouldn't be any real gain from deletion in the sense that you're referring at all. Like that, you're deleting an asset. You're deleting something that can literally be sold for $1 value. That doesn't compute at all. That's I think you're adding like modern thinking to
it's not really modern thinking, actually.
It's modern thinking because children now are liabilities. when children, especially say slaves, children were assets. So it's modern in that regard. We get a woman pregnant and we thinking like, oh, child support, oh, schooling, it costs $240,000 to raise a kid. We're thinking that. That's not true in the case of a slave
But
child.
you missed the point, GameChanger. I said some, not all. Not saying they said all.
All right. Well, some oranges aren't orange, but generally speaking,
Game Changer. I think that Chaos Reign may be confusing like the slave holding white men with the non-slave holding white men. He's talking about
Fair
white
enough.
men that were actually working on the plantation themselves. So for them, that multiracial kid would be a liability, but for the slaver, it's an asset. So Chaos, you're talking about something different. You're talking about free white men that were not slaveholders. They were the ones that would delete the biracial kid because it didn't have a value to them because he probably had a wife somewhere, and he would be responsible for taking care of that child, not the slaveholder.
But he wouldn't. Even like a overseer or something wouldn't be responsible in that regard. I mean, it's still an asset, just not his asset.
Well, I'm just saying that Chaos, he's talking about this abortion thing. If it was someone that would do it, it definitely wouldn't be the slaveholder.
There's no value in it. There's no value in that thing, from anybody, no matter who's the father, because men weren't really financially bound to the child of a slave. There's no liability. There's no gain for keeping a woman, of diminished labor, for 9 months. There's none. And then deleting the benefit of that. You don't plant the seed and then there's none. I'm sorry, Chaos. But
yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting theory in Chaos, and I would like to see more on that. But yeah, I mean, as far as we're talking about slaves, they were assets. So even if it was the overseer's child, the plantation owner would have told him, oh, that's my asset, not yours. That's what he would have told him, because that woman is mine. I own her, and I own anything that comes out of her. So that's how I would have been treated. Exactly. I think Game Changer, you and I talked about Harriet Jacobs before.
Yeah, we did.
You said what?
I said, yeah, we did. We talked about Harriet Jacobs. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the situation. She had a bunch of white men's kids, but they were still the assets of the slaveholder.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson. Absolutely.
So that's why when we have people like Celine in the audience, it's important that you give them that information, because even though she's a white woman, they come to these conversations and they don't have these facts for some reason, and they do need to hear the truth of it.
Well, and this isn't a shot at Celine.
Hear the truth about how you guys were slaves. Wow.
I was never a slave.
Then why is it so important about what a slave master, what our strong white masters done to us? Like, well, how was that?
Well, history is always.
I think that you're indirectly calling white men strong and you weak, like your race weak. Like,
no.
You're right. White men are masters. There's
some confusion. You got to admit when you're not talking because there's a trend echo. Okay, so no, there's some confusion. We was actually talking about the women who are advocates of what you were just talking about. Not we were not advocating superiority or inferiority within the group or without.
Yeah, definitely black guys cannot, or the black race in general can't talk about superiority. That's just something. That's just not a click. Like.
Okay, well there you have it. Now, more to what Celine was saying, and people talk about that, and this isn't to really grill her, but I think that we assume that other groups are more interested in our history and our culture than they are. I started to notice that in just talking to people who come from different countries and stuff like that. It's, we have a knowledge of our history that they don't possess. And why should they? I mean, how much do we know about, say, Indian culture and things like that? Like why should we be so arrogant that we would assume that they would be experts in our culture? Your thoughts, Sigma?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that too, because, I deal with a lot of immigrants from Africa and Asia, and I found that to be true too. They're much more practical and all about the present and the future. And even when I talk to a lot of Africans historically, they really haven't been all that interested in, like, the slavery question, the Jim Crow, and they get confused when they see black people talking about things like reparations, because from their standpoint, they just see the present and the future. They're not connecting any of it to the past. And I see
Yeah, it's not a good thing to be black. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Africans, when you come
Okay, hold on. You're interrupted.
Hona, do not cut me off.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too. Fuck you too.
Go ahead.
Damn, that's all it took for her to finally leave. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, you know, when you talk to a lot of immigrants, you run into this problem because in the eyes of like American native blacks, they see race all around and the history, the present, and possibly the future. But with a lot of the black immigrants, you don't get that with them when you actually have one-on-one conversations with them. Man, they be really lost on a lot of the historical stuff, man, and how it connects to today.
Well, I don't blame them. Like, when the whole Frederick Douglass thing came up and Donald Trump, thought he was a living person and present as opposed to a historical figure, I don't really fault that type of ignorance because why should he care? Like, I mean, just because it's important to us, that doesn't mean it should be important to him, president or otherwise. Like, I want more of us to get past that mentality that they should know and care because they really don't have to. No one does. So we'll go to Chaos, then Anna, and then Josh on that. Chaos? Anna?
Hi. I walked on the panel and you guys were talking about biracials. So, as biracials being identified as black, I just thought it'd be nice for me to click the link because a lot of us are going to have biracials pretty soon. My kids are going to be biracial in the future. And I would teach my kids that they're just biracial. They're too. And they're not with the black community, not whatsoever. Like, there's nothing proud about being black. Like, we were slaves. That's nothing proud to be, like, talking about. We were dominated. And we have shitty communities. And, like, yeah. So, like, I just think my biracials would not be identifying as black at all. And, society would not.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Let me mute you. All right, so what she's describing isn't anything new. There are communities of biracials that exist. I mean, the entire Latin community, arguably outside of Portugal and Spain itself, is probably considered a biracial community. And these peoples tend to take a national identity versus a racial identity. Like Mexican is a national identity.
Well, they're mestizo on average.
Yeah. So it's what she's describing has been played out through the Creole people of New Orleans, and so it wouldn't be the first group of people, and perhaps American society could head towards that direction. Anything's possible. I wanted to get Josh's take on it, but he's gone. I will say this on what Anna just said. And I think that this really says something about the psychological mentality of how can I say, of Black people, Black American people here in the US. And that is, we do have a sense of faithfulness and togetherness that really don't exist amongst other groups of people. It don't, because think about it, in Sigma, if I remember, you're a darker skinned brother, right?
Yeah, I'm a dark skinned brother. Yep.
Okay, so in most other places that had slave colonies, brothers like you don't exist unless this is their first generation from the continent or a second, like after a while, like in Brazil, even England and France, they do tend to merge and mingle with the local population. Like, I mean, in order for, and this isn't, Cap, and I know it's not meant to be an insult, but in order for a brother like you to exist, and really like me to exist, even though my grandfather was light skinned, but it would take generations. It would take at least 5 free generations of people choosing only from 13% of the population. And that is impressive. And that is not mimicked anywhere else in the slave colonial world that I am aware of. So our loyalty, is astounding. It's astounding.
Question. So you're saying that for, let's say, a Black mate and a white mate, to let them become what, Black or white? What do you mean by it takes 5 generations? Can you elaborate?
What I'm saying is, if you're a darker skinned Black American, then chances are, since emancipation, all of your ancestors chose to be with another darker skinned Black person.
Okay.
And I say 5 generations because that's about how long most of us have been emancipated.
Okay.
So yeah, and so yeah, our loyalty is unreplicated throughout the world, and still it's not enough. I find that very interesting. You got it, Josh.
Sorry, as I have background of firefighter. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
I can. Yeah.
Well, I was saying with Chaos Rain, I understand what he's going through because in the conscious community, the Hotep community, what Celine was saying, she's not the first one that said that. I heard that plenty of numerous times. Actually, my cousin is mixed biracial, but her mom is Black. But her father is white, and she does look like a white woman. She can pass as a white woman, but she doesn't want to claim that because she can pass a lot of because she wants to stick to her cult, to her heritage, whatever like that. So it is true. Some of the true is what Celine is talking about. Because what's his name was what's that actor name? The one that died in Disney. Huh?
Chadwick Boseman?
No. He was a very light-skinned guy, and you couldn't tell he was Black. And when his parents came forward, he was his father was I think was biracial or Black, and his mother was white. His mother was definitely white, but his mother you couldn't tell he was I think he passed a Black person, dude. That's what I'm saying. Celine is actually right on point with that.
Okay. Well, let's do this then. Let's do this. Ask Celine, why do the rest of the royal family look at Meghan Markle as a Black woman, not as what her father is?
You know what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's that one drop rule. White people got the one drop rule where you got a little bit of white in you, a little bit of Black in you, then you're Black. Kind of like,
and it doesn't matter which parent, and this is the international thing. They do see her. And truth be told, when somebody said that Prince Henry married a Henry or Harry.
Harry.
Well, Harry.
It's Harry.
Yeah. Okay. So Prince Harry married a Black woman from Compton, and I Googled it, and Meghan Markle's picture came up. I was like, "Where's the Black woman?" I did not even know she had any. I did not know she had any Black in her whatsoever.
Neither did I.
Hold on, Chaos. You interrupt a lot. But
hold on, Josh.
But what I'm saying is, most of the world work on the one drop rule, and the reason why I was bringing that up, Josh, is because what I'm saying is that anything that Black women say about Black men, white people you're saying that about their future children if you get with them. That's the way the men think. Now, Black men aren't out talking trash about mixed or light-skinned Black children like that. In fact, we reputedly adore them. So, white women feel a little bit more comfortable breeding with that. You got it, Josh.
By the way, Chaos, you know him as Cameron Boyce. Cameron Boyce.
Cameron, I Google him.
Yeah, look at his parents. Now, if you see his parents, you wouldn't freaking know if he was mixed biracial. But the thing is, the reason why I said that, GC, because if they only label you as Black if you tell them that you're a part mixed with Black, or if you show their parents or something like that. If they see like a background of you. But other than that, some people got away. I forgot what that guy name was. He was biracial. Black, he was biracial, but the thing is, nobody questioned him who he was till he passed as white. So a lot of people could get it. It depends how much you can get away with it.
The Ball brothers.
Yeah, they had those that passed, but then to take an example that counters what you're saying, all you gotta do is look at the Homer Plessy,
right?
Plessy versus Ferguson, which made Jim Crow the law of the South. If you look at a picture of Homer Plessy, you wouldn't be able to tell he was Black. He looked like a white man. from the beard, the complexion, everything. But even he thought that passing would work. But they had their own ways of identifying even back then. See, we always think it's just DNA, but they had social circles.
Yeah, social.
They knew family trees and stuff like that. So even if you were able to pass for white to a certain extent, if you stayed within your state or local area, they had white ways of identifying you. Again, Homer Plessy thought he could play the I'm mixed card. Guess what they told his black ass? Yeah, you are definitely light skinned, and we might put you in the house, but get your black ass to the back of the bus. Supreme Court told him that, not the governor, not the state legislature. The Supreme Court made that the law of the land for the next 86 years in the Jim Crow South because of Homer Plessy. He thought he could pass, and he got rejected.
So, and that's a good point. Now, in fact, I'm going to change my movie night. I was going to do the movie Class Act, and I probably still do that. I probably just add that to movie night. But movie night is going to be at 5 PST. Email me for the link, and I probably put it on my my Instagram. The movie tonight will be Queen.
Wait, the actual Queen, the rock star Queen?
So Queen is a movie starring Halle Berry. And she is part of the whole Alex Haley lineage. She is playing the role of a passing black woman who was recently emancipated and decided to live it up with white folk. So
is that way you can email me that? I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, Chaos, man. What happened to you on movie night, man?
I don't know. I be getting messages through, was it Discord somewhere? I don't get no messages like that. I don't know if it was Melody that sent me email.
Email me and I'll email you.
I'll send you a message now and then you respond.
Yeah. And guys, on movie night, we also have after parties too. We be talking a whole bunch of discussions also on GC channel. So please come over to the after party also as well. So we won't, you guys just, stay up and whatever like that. So yeah, it's also be fun too.
Looping all of this back to the present, bro. When we hear this whole thing, our black men born licks, I don't know how these women really don't see that as a statement of their own motherhood. That's what always fascinates me about my conversation with the so-called divested comrade, right? They don't seem to understand that whatever failures of black men, at least half of it is going to fall on them. So when they actually talk about how great Brad is, you're actually promoting white motherhood. That's what you're doing. You're promoting white motherhood when you say, even when Brad does a crime, he did the crime in a better way than the black man did. When the Brad was wrong, he was wrong in a better way than the black man. You may think that you're just blowing up the ego of Brad, but you're actually making a strong statement that white mothers are superior to you. That's what you're saying every time you make that statement. So if black men are born a lick, then they were raised to be licks by their mothers. And that ties back to what GC is saying about this whole thing with the slavery and who is going to be the parentage and who is identified as who. At the end of the day, if your father's black, everyone's going to call you black. If your mother's black, you're still going to be identified as black. You're not escaping blackness. So it would behoove those that would slander the image of black men or even black women to think twice before they do it. Because again, every time you do that, all you're doing is raising the value of whiteness on the color scale. Not that it's not already at the top for the last 500 years, but to see you as a black person, to bring even more strength to white supremacy is incredible while you sit and cry about reparations every day.
But
here's why here's the oversight. Here's the fundamental flaw in the thinking, and which is why they think something like this is advantageous. But first, let me read the super chats. It says, that chick is a troll on panels. I know. And good job, GC. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks a lot. Art of Will, thanks for coming through with the super sticker. Appreciate you. And Mr. Shane Vicious again says, your loyalty, your quote loyalty was forced on you by Jim Crow. Okay, so I would go with that if Jim Crow wasn't a local thing. I know that people, when we talk about Jim Crow, we like to think of it as something that was throughout the plurality of the U.S. It was really in the South, but even in the North, you didn't see like this merging light-skinned population that just, we didn't turn Dominican or Brazilian immediately after emancipation outside of the South or the West, or anywhere, you know, and nor was there a push to leave the South to get with other groups of people. Like, you know, like they had their freedom, they could go pretty much anywhere. And during the Great Migration they did, and even after the Great Migration, it still didn't happen like that. So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying though. There
Those
were
women look
laws
better.
that
Grandma
enforced
looked
that.
better. Great grandma looked better. Because again,
Grandma dumplings, yeah.
Males anywhere on the planet, proximity is always going to proximity and access. Those women, you've shown pictures 100 times on your channel, man. Come on. The women of that day were fit, they were easier to get along with, and they looked good, and they were easier just to deal with on a daily basis. They didn't devalue a man that had a regular job like you see today. So we can't even compare that era because of those factors. But also, again, grandfather didn't have the technology that we have to reach across the globe. I think we can't put that on grandpa. I don't know if my grandpa would have married my grandmother if he had the options that you and I have today. I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful of that, man, because we can reach across to China. We can reach all the way to Korea, Jamaica, anywhere we want right now with just a speed dial and have a conversation with women in every locale on the planet. I think that's the biggest game changer the last 50 years, maybe in history, is the internet itself.
Well,
okay, I'm gonna say this right quick, Chaos. I'm gonna say this. My grandpa would have married grandma. Hands down, grandma was the first pick me. That grandma's was the first pick me's that I ever known, and no, real talk. And I knew that, you know, I wasn't gonna settle for less than grandma. So grandpa, he definitely would have done that. But we're dealing with a whole different breed. We are dealing with a whole different breed nowadays. But, you know, like they didn't have to consider such things because they didn't have to consider such things back then. You know, like, I mean, grandpa moved to Oakland for work, you know, for manufacturing work, not agricultural work. That was it. He had no problems with grandma, even though, you know, he did come from the segregated South. That wasn't the main thing. He came for work and work alone. You know, his brother was here. His brother was in Oakland, you know, and, you know, he said he could get him work there. And that was the end of that. But, and that's what happens when you have like a decent crop of women. Modern women are different than grandma, a lot different. And modern women, stop trying to live off grandma pussy. Stop trying to say grandma was this, and this. And so all black women are this, and this. And you should be down with us because grandma's dumpling. Shut your ass up. You haven't made a dumpling in your whole fucking life. You're useless. Stop thinking that because grandma was a pick me that I should pick you. Now, that being said, about that major oversight that black women have, and the reason why they think that they can sell the concept of inferior children to a group of people comes here when
make your dress a little longer, you know, if you just do that, you know, maybe we can get together. No, I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do. So with that being said, Trill, how would you advise a woman that wants to be married to pursue a man? Not necessarily pursue, but make herself available for men.
She has to understand the concept of leverage. Just like with anything else in business, like if I'm majority owner of this company, then it's I can throw my weight around in terms of getting what it is that I want from a man. But women don't. I don't want to say have the wherewithal, because they do know how powerful that thing between their legs are. But
and there you have it. You see, black women are under the impression that their major selling point, that their primary, that 99% of their selling point is the pleasure, is sexual pleasure. That's just stupid. So they don't even see motherhood as a selling point. They don't see proper child rearing as a selling point to men for marriage. They're stupid like that. And they're stupid like that because of niggas like Trill. So,
See, what you just hit on right there with the motherhood and how they devalue it, that's why they're comfortable allowing the slandering of the black men that come from their homes.
Now you get it. Now you get, and that's why I was playing that. That's why I played that.
Well,
So
they
you
groom
right
these
quick.
kids.
That is a flaw in their thinking. They can't see past their own box. And once you can't see past your own box, you can't really sell yourself to a group of men with anything besides that box. That's stupid. You know, they try to sell. They're walking up to white guys like, "Here's a box. Fuck them kids." And he's like, "Whoa,
Yes.
wait." You know.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. Because I'm listening to this guy and this woman. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how is your selling point on your value of Afrocentric motherhood? You're going to go to these other countries and tell them the children that I raise are savage, brutish, ignorant, predators, and immature and uncultured. You're literally saying to the world as a woman, and when and this is the thing that's pointed out here. You know how these women have been saying how they think these foreign women are so dumb. Well, guess what? Have you noticed that ever since these Filipino women and these Latinas have started speaking out against that smear, calling them dumb, dirty feet, have you seen the change in the tone of those black women? Because again, they wanted to sell us that these women are so uneducated and they're so dumb. But
don't forget Arabs coming back too.
We know that many other corporations from here are actually taking jobs from the American female worker that are white collar air conditioned jobs and shipping them to the Philippines. What they don't tell you,
or they're shipping the Filipinos here to take them.
Yeah, and they're here too. But don't you think it's ironic for them to call these women so ignorant and downtrodden when many of them are actually losing their jobs at their corporation because their corporation is outsourcing overseas to Manila and hiring those women at a third of the cost, but with basically the same requirements to speak English and education. So this idea of you're going to convince the women over there and the local men that you're not part of the problem, this is a bad strategy for anyone that's listening to my voice. All you're doing is undermining your own image to the world, because it's only going to be natural that when you tell them how bad the black man is, the next question eventually is going to be, who raised these bad men? Oh! And when it swings back to you all, when it swings back, it is going to be a whisper among the thinking black men as they sit back and watch how you handle when the world puts you on trial for your failed motherhood over the last 6 generations. And your trial is coming. The trial of the black misandress is coming soon.
Yeah, mic drop, boom.
You poke my heart. You poke my heart, Sigma. The little boy said, oh, "You broke my heart." All right, let's do closing thoughts.
No, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
You first with the closing thoughts.
Let's be honest. Most other groups of men see him as like what the woman put in the video. If that's where you reserve your value, they already got that, and if they don't got it, they take it. It's evident. So that's why you don't see them invest time in marriage. If they marry a few of our women, very small, and they have to be exceptional. And it's very tiny. But majority of them, they always want to see their own purity. And investing in procreating with our women, it's not really a value because they get access to it anyway. It's only America they could probably get away with this, and maybe some parts where it's more darker nations possibly. But other than that, if you could sell your box, like you said, that it should go where it's a value that you get a real top tier man and keep them. As we've seen today from the rhetoric, the talk on the stuff, that's not the case. They're going
lack of motivation for that. I understand that.
Yeah. So overall, that's how it is going to be.
I'm gonna read this. Mr. Shane Vicious says again, Homer Plessy was 7/8 white. Plessy versus Ferguson was created through a law, and it can be eliminated through a law. It was. Let's see. It likely will be gone in the next 20 years. It's already gone. Wait, am I tripping? I'm confused about this one, Shane. I'm confused about this one. As I understand, that's gone. So Plessy is the one about integrated schools, which is been over. That was like, I think Thurgood Marshall took care of that.
That's now going on over 60 I think it's almost going like.
Oh, he said he meant the one drop rule. He said he meant the one drop rule.
Years,
okay.
Isn't it? Oh no.
Well, it's been a very long time. It's been
no. I'm talking about the school system. I'm not sure about anything else.
Yeah, no, he's talking about something else. He's talking about the one drop rule. Okay, that makes sense. Now I want to say something that he was saying about Filipino nurses. Yeah, they hire them because they're the only ones that can fit in the uniforms. Okay.
God damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
But he got a point.
No, the truth of the matter is, a nurse is you don't want to see unhealthy people in the hospital working there. Period. They're supposed to be an example of health. They're supposed to be, you don't want to see a 275-pound woman tell you to, work on your cholesterol. That's just me, But all right, we're gonna go to Anna, and then we're gonna go to
Hi, I have a lot of disagreements.
Just do one. Just do one.
Okay, I'll just do one. As far as white, you guys said, oh, well, you guys raise these black guys. No, a lot of us black women who date white guys, we don't have black children. Like, we were already on the program before, like, we started even looking at. A lot of white guys don't date baby, they don't date black women with baby black little bitty kids. Heck no. You know what I mean? And the white guy that I have, or the white guy that I frequent, and you guys can.
You mean you sleep with? That's different.
Yeah, the situation that I have, and I plan on having a baby pretty soon. But
wait. Hold on, Chaos. Do you plan on getting married pretty soon, or do you
absolutely not? I don't value marriage, and no, neither does he. I seek people who are on the same program as me. I don't go for men who want marriage. I go for men who don't want marriage. I believe in freedom. I love my freedom.
Okay.
Yeah. So my thing is, with white guys, whether they, look at all black, oh, well, my kids are going to come out black. So if black women bash black men, they're talking about my kids. They do not think like that, not one bit. And a lot of white guys who date black women, a lot of black women are conservative. So like, we're like bashing the black community together. The white guys that I date, he do not see. And a lot of white people that I talk to, they do see a difference between lighter complected and darker complected. And they definitely see a difference between someone who is like biracial versus someone who look fully booty burnt African. Like, they can definitely see a difference. I think that's laughable every time they try to bring up, oh, white people see you all the same. And they just don't. I've never been followed around the store, but my dark skinned sister have. I've never been followed around the store. They do not see us all the same. That's like really laughable. And as far as white guys, like, oh, they're going to see their babies as black. A lot of them teach their kids that they're biracial. A lot of biracials with black moms actually identify as biracial. So I don't know where this come from. I don't know why why you guys are making it so negative, about black women dating white guys. You don't have.
You consider yourself as biracial.
Hold on. Okay.
No, I'm black. I never said I was biracial.
Go for it. Okay.
Yeah. So you're a little small channel. So every once in a while, I might stick my head in if you're recommended to me. Normally, I'd be on the bigger channels and bigger platforms. After this, I'm gonna go on Cheekies. Then after this, I'm gonna go on.
I know where you won't be. In a stable relationship with a white man, because you're nothing but a divested comrade. That's where you won't be.
I love being a comrade for white men. Yes, I can.
But here you are. But yet here you are.
Yeah, I come here like.
Why aren't you? Valentine's Day is 2 weeks away. And I'm
bitter. I like to come over here and disturb the black community. I like to come over here and taunt.
I bet you that white man don't
I love taunting. I love taunting the black community. I come over here to taunt and be bitter.
In your next Ghetto Gaggers film, can I get a cut? That's all I ask. If you're gonna come to Game Changers channel, at least send that brother some super chats from your next episode of Ghetto Gaggers. Can you do that for us? Because we know you won't be busy.
What about dog fart? That's like the opposite of dog fart. Been around before Ghetto Gaggers. Dog fart is about.
Answer the question though.
Dog fart is about a white woman.
Will you be here on Valentine's Day? Will you be available? Just say yes.
I will probably. If I'm not busy. Okay, what's your point?
keep listening and keep viewing, but contribute if you're going to be.
I don't value marriage.
You
So
are a
what's your
time
point?
waster. That's why the white man don't want you. Your
Oh
priorities.
no, he does. He fucks me every night.
Priorities are
He
out
fucks
of
me every
order.
night. He's gonna give me his seat too. So now what?
He gonna give you a wet seat. That's about it.
He's gonna give me his seat. He's gonna put his seat right up in my thon. So like, what's your point? And we're gonna have a baby. So what's your point?
Well, you already answered my point. You will be here on Valentine's Day. Brad don't.
Yeah, and you're probably here too. You're probably here too. See, here's the difference between like a lot of black women and black men. I'm not bitter about you guys dating now. I actually believe that black men should date out because it will make the society better. I think that black people should not be together and should not continue to procreate with each other. I'm not bitter when I see like a black guy with a white woman. But the thing is, a lot of you black guys.
All right. That's
a lot of you black guys are really.
All right. That was the longest closing statement in history, Anna.
Yeah.
Well, you're bitter. You're super mad.
I'm not bitter at all.
I'm not mad. I don't have to freak you out.
I came to GameChanger's channel. If I was bitter, I would be over there with you in the divested comrades.
Well,
I didn't over there trolling the divested comrades.
All right, let's do this. All right, thank you, Anna, for like I say, it's one comment. And that's that. All right. So, Josh, what's yours?
I did have something, but Anna just came in out of the blue and just.
Yeah, I said one thing.
Yeah,
but,
I'll say this. Like the brother said up there on the top right next to you, black woman trial is coming. It is true, and the thing is that a lot of people in the whole world is looking at black women in a certain, and see who they really are. And these scare tactics, these shame and insult guilt about brothers going overseas is not gonna last. It's we don't really care about what they think about it, because you know why? Because at this point we can get away with the things we can do, as far as like roaming free and do things. But the thing is, when they go to somebody else's country, they can't pull that bullshit over there. Like Anna, what she just did, she can't pull that other people's countries. And the thing is, also, there was an incident. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this is how they're gonna get attacked. Black women are going to get attacked. Like, I'm not saying this like some what's the type of way, like ill type of way, but you heard about the incident in Dominican Republic about the woman got a BBL. She went to surgery. After she got her surgery, she went back to America. She started feeling sick. Come to find out the person that did surgery on her stole her kidney.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah. That's old.
Now,
wait. You can't do that without a scar. She didn't notice that. She was looking at her butt so much she didn't notice the scar in the back.
That guy. She wanted a BBL and she wanted a weight loss surgery.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah,
but the kidney is not there. And first of all, there's no scar with like liposuction. By the way, Kristen Carolson had liposuction. But wait a minute. You should know if your kidney is gone immediately.
GC, damn well, how dumb. Come on now, think now. You think American women go say, "Oh, they're gonna look at their ass and go look at how much they lost that weight." They're not gonna pay attention what happened to her. Come on now. Come on, GC. This is critical thinking here. This is foresight. This is something that some people in America don't have critical thinking skills when it comes to these surgeries. And especially going to another country, man.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
So it's less expensive to get these surgeries there, granted. But they do have reputable doctors there. I'm not gonna shit on their country. They do have reputable doctors there. So not only did you get the discount of getting it done in the Dominican, you still went on some back alley stuff. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep. Yeah, the guy was not ordinary, no ordinary surgeon.
Obviously.
So yes, so all this stuff you guys are saying about us, what we do in the Passport Bros. The thing is, you guys gotta look out by yourselves. Y'all the most kidnapped, unprotected in the group. Y'all can say whatever the fuck you guys have to say about us, which is fucking defamation of character. But when it comes to you guys, people know who you guys are, and people are gonna be like, we gonna make millions off your kidneys. We gonna get millions off your heart. Many of y'all, that's why I'm saying so many women. That's why I think you gotta think when women die from BBL. What did they die from BBL? What did they took? Did they take a heart when they died from BBL, getting ejected from their ass? Did they take out a heart? Was an organ was missing after they sent the body back to America?
Well, no, taking away the heart is instant death. But I mean, I gotta read the particulars, but you gotta be pretty desperate.
I'm saying when women die with BBLs, who knows they take advantage of them getting the organs, some organs out before they send the body back. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes.
That's okay. All right.
But that's all I gotta say.
That's yeah, I appreciate that. That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother discussion.
Hey, thanks for inviting
Appreciate
that
it.
info. Thanks for giving that info, bro. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, don't appreciate it, man.
All right, H&M. First and last thoughts.
How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
Cool.
Actually, I came in kind of late, but I kind of heard some of what y'all was saying.
3 hours late, brother. But what's on your mind?
Oh yeah, and now going back to that situation that that other brother was talking about, the girl with the BBL. I think I heard about that. She went to get a BBL. She came back. She felt phone to find out that a kidney was missing. That's what, and that's my biggest thing about people getting all these surgeries and all this stuff done to their body. I mean, for what purpose? Who are you trying to impress? Why are you trying to impress these people? Because you don't know. First of all, you don't know what the hell they putting inside your body. So you're paying someone thousands of dollars to put foreign chemicals or foreign substances in your body just so you can try to impress somebody. And second thing, like the brother just said, you don't know what else they're gonna do to you. I mean, she lost a whole kidney. Is that what you said? Someone took out her whole entire kidney?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They took a whole entire kidney out, dude.
It's much deeper. There's one video of a doctor said out his mouth, and there's an IG short clip of the most dangerous of all surgery is the Brazilian butt lift because of all the muscles that's behind there. Last thing you want to do is trying to go back there to get bigger behind. And the doctor said this. I know of another artist that is an abuser. She went in a coma, and they said she's all right, but she went and got a BBL, and she's 40 years old, already thick, and she went to go get BBL, and almost killed her.
All right, fellas. Let's.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
No, yeah, we off topic now. We off topic.
Yeah, let's get back to the black men are born to be licks, more so raised to be licks. What are your thoughts?
GC, it was something that I think this does contribute to the conversation about that, and it's regards to that video you did called "Save Your Sperm, Black Men." When I think about that conversation that you had and how you had these black lesbians begging straight black men to give semen to them, I'm starting to now think about this whole passport Keisha thing differently. All through the 80s and 90s, we had this whole deadbeat dad thing that was spread about the native black male. We have to have a conversation eventually that loops back to how many of these black women have been going to these foreign destinations and being impregnated by foreign black men, and in some cases, white men. Because I've always believed that one of the reasons that they had that whole thing, when the light-skinned dudes were in versus the dark skin, was because it's at the same time, a lot of these black women were going to European destinations at that time, like the late 80s, the 90s, when they blew up with the Stella Got Her Groove Back. I suspect now, since you and I had that conversation about the Save Your Sperm, I believe that there have been a group of black women for the last 30 years that have been going to these overseas destinations. If they went to places like Jamaica and Antigua and things like that, they came back pregnant because the stereotype of black men as deadbeats has been pushed so heavily by them and their fake allies. They could just easily tell their parents, oh, I got pregnant by a black dude. We were dating here in Atlanta, but he left. And they would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, niggas always leave. But you know what? I don't believe it anymore. Those women have been going to Jamaica, Antigua, and all these Caribbean countries and getting pregnant by foreign black men, coming back to the States and smearing black men's name. If they happen to go to Italy or Germany and get knocked up by a white dude, that's why we had the explosion of the light-skinned black man for that very brief period, because they needed to find a stepdad that was light-skinned that they could blame before Maury Povich and DNA. So I think when we look at everything that I'm talking about and what you've been talking about, it's all going to loop back to the origin. And when I say there's going to be a trial, when the pendulum swings back, they are not going to have anyone to defend them with any common sense, because eventually they're going to say, if you keep telling us that these black men are so terrible, one, why are you fighting so hard? Why are you fighting so hard for the men you don't care about? And two, who raised these terrible men? And on that day, there is going to be so many people clutching pearls when the international people start saying black women are terrible mothers. You won't have a defense anymore because you've slandered and completely undermined the natural protector of your group, all for a short-term clicks and likes. Just wait until that day comes very soon. It's coming back for you. And if you're a pick-me out there and you're listening, you better get your shield up now. And you better start speaking out and not sitting idly by while these women destroy and put you at risk. Because it's going to come back to y'all, and it's going to come back with much greater force. Mark my words.
And also, Sigmund Jones, I want to add also, not only fighting and care. Why do you keep
Sigma Jones?
Sigma? Is it Sigma?
It's King Sigma.
King Sigma. I'm sorry, Sigma. Sigma is also, why do you keep fucking them? If you ain't shit, why you like black dick so much? Yeah, that's another thing too. Shit, that's another thing you should add. That's a third thing. But
everything that you said, Josh, I'm telling you, all of these factors they just don't think long term. That's why men have historically led. We are more, we lead better and we think more long term. These women are destroying the image of the black man. And they don't see how that's all going to come back to them because people are going to start asking questions.
Yeah, it's a reflection of their parenting. They have been asking the question. They just don't ask it out loud. But they have asked the question before. But hey, good luck to Anna on that. All right, so I gotta go. But H&M, what's your closing thoughts on the topic? Okay, but Sigma, you got was that your closing thoughts, or that was just something that you were chiming in on?
Man, look, my closing thought is that eventually, when all this passport bro defamation is finished, because again, the black male himself is the greatest seller of his image, and as more and more of these black men go over there, and they actually prove that all these stereotypes that are being pushed, all this slander is all false, the conversation is going to go back to the accusers. And I'm telling you, the whole reason why the black manosphere and all these red pill spaces exist has been to counter the anti-misandry narrative. And eventually, they themselves are going to have carried that conversation about their own behavior before the world court. And again, we've already been very kind to them in our explaining their bad behaviors and factual outcomes and how we can change this and turn it around. But no, they're so resistant to the idea of changing something that they're comfortable about. They have been pigs in the pig pen, and they don't want to be disciplined and taken out of that pig pen. But just wait until black men are not there to defend them anymore. Because again, the plantation simps don't have the intellectual firepower to defend them before the world court. And when it comes to their motherhood, their Afrocentric motherhood is put on trial for the last 60 years, watch how quickly they fold before white mommy and all of those international women. Just watch how quickly it's coming. So for me, I don't even get upset by the defamation because I know that ultimately it's going to loop back to the dysfunction of the plantation and her failed Afrocentric motherhood. So with that, catch you on the next one, Game Changer. Just hit me up when you want to do the review.
Okay. All right. So with that, wait, what was the thing we were going to do a review? Oh, crap. Okay. I do know about the one thing, but we talked about something else today. Forget what it was, but
one thing short, knocks out the way.
Nah, I gotta go. Okay,
I know you gotta go. It's short. It's short.
I gotta go. But yeah, next time, Chaos. But I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so movie nights tonight. We're gonna talk about the movie Queen, Alex Haley's Queen, and it's about a passing black woman. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, I'd like to thank email me if you want the link to movie night. Other than that, I'd like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. This is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.